So some new Blake Lively stuff. Hold on, let me refresh because I pulled this up earlier today. I don't like you because you seem like you genuinely a terrible person. Okay. Okay, Justin Baldoni wins. Basically put Scarlett Johansson in instead of Blake Lively. I mean, Justin Baldoni took credit for his own film after you literally stole it to edit it unilaterally without his or the studio's input. Then he marketed the film to the best of his ability because you iced him out of his own production. Yeah, so basically what happened, Blake Lively was promoting it a certain way versus what Justin Baldoni wanted. And basically, she was misrepresenting the movie the whole time because it was based on what she wanted. It's like, I don't know. Fucking movie stars, man. Like Lively is lying about being sexually harassed by Justin Baldoni. Yeah, I know. She obviously is. Graphed out how much people hate her more they see her. Up to normalized net sentiment of mentions of Blake Lively. Holy shit. Just fucking tanked. Moral of the story, Blake Lively thought she could say and do whatever she wanted to do to who she's currently married to and who her best friend was. She did not for a second anticipate that the man she set out to destroy would fight back. She deserves everything that's coming to her way. Karma. Andrew McGrath. I don't know these people. Bunch of random people giving their insight. This was the best photo. just like, oh shit, why did you say something? Fuck. She's just laughing. Blake Lively's lawsuit. I'm going to hazard a guess that any issue Jenny Slate may have had toward Justin Baldoni came after Blake Lively told her about his comment in the dance montage. It's right here, yeah. Basically, this is this is one of the scenes where she was like, "Oh yeah, he was pushing on me." She was basically calling this was sexual assault, even though it was for the movie. Like Lively is really Meghan Markle in a bodysuit and wig, painfully awkward. I can't keep her hands off me. Ah, ah. See the latest posts. Blake Lively has accused, and it ends with us executive producer by aiding Justin Baldoni and his team in their alleged attempts to destroy her reputation. Like, dude, she's out for everyone. She gets called out. As soon as she gets called out, fucking she starts attacking everyone. No one wants to hear this, but Blake Lively just redefined rock bottom. No career, no business, no friends, all because she couldn't let go of the fantasy. Is facing the truth the ultimate cure for narcissism? Or just another chapter in her wild saga? I mean, it's just like Twitch streamers, right? The fucking the crackhead communities. They're all fucking addicts. for content, but it's for content. But the stream needs content. Brain dead streamers. Vladimir Putin. Think of it as oh wait, hold on. Refresh. Think of it as successful comedian Vladimir Zelensky talked to the United States of America and just spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States will get nothing back. Why didn't Sleepy Joe demand equalization? In that this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation. On top of this, Zelensky admits that half of the money we sent him is missing. He refuses to have elections. Is very low in Ukrainian polls. And the only thing he was good at was playing Biden, like, Jesus Christ. Holy shit. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast, as he is not going to have a country left. In the meantime, we are successful for Russia, something I'll admit only Trump and the Trump administration can do. Biden never tried. Europe has failed to bring peace, and Zelensky probably wants to keep the gravy train going. I love Ukraine, but Zelensky has done a terrible job. His country is shattered and millions have unnecessarily died, and so it continues. Oh, I mean, it says from the real Donald Trump. We are witnessing a very sad moment in American history. The President of the United States is aligning himself with the dictator of Russia. Oh, here we go again. Russia, Russia, Russia. The Russia hoax propaganda is coming back.
Thanks, everybody, for joining me to discuss a very, very serious issue. Yesterday, we witnessed an extremely sad moment in American history.
What do you mean?
We saw the President of the United States aligning himself with...
He did not align himself. Yo, Biden, I need a house.
the dictator of Russia, Vladimir Putin,
Huh?
to undermine the independence of Ukraine and its democracy.
The dude hasn't shown his face ever since he got kicked out of being a president. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. You would think Kamala Harris or fucking Biden would be out doing some shit, but I guess not. Then again,
Let's
they got
be clear.
At least Biden
is showing
got his,
us that he sees one of the
revoked.
world's most brutal dictators as his friend,
I dream shut
and
up,
our
you fucking
longtime Democratic allies in Europe
weirdo.
as
Looks
his
amazing.
enemies. He wants a world that is safe for authoritarians and oligarchs, but extremely dangerous for democracies. It will not surprise you when I tell you that Trump is lying, as he so often does. Yesterday, Trump said that Ukraine started the war. That's not true. Russia invaded Ukraine.
I mean, obviously that's not true. Fucking Putin came out and was like, "Oh, we're doing a military operation." That's the only reason why we know. For what reason he was doing the military operation, I don't know. Not my place to say.
Twice. First in 2014, then again in 2022. Right now, Russia occupies about 20.
Yeah, it did start back in 2014. But Trump wasn't even in office. So I don't know why he's blaming Trump for the 2014 one.
20% of Ukraine. Since Putin's horrific invasion, over 1 million people have been killed or injured. Every single day, Russia continues to rain down hundreds of missiles and drones on Ukrainian cities. Putin's forces have massacred civilians and kidnapped thousands of Ukrainian children, bringing them back to Russian re-education.
Yeah, but you guys gave him, during Biden, you gave Zelensky the go-ahead to fucking start nuking inside of Russia. So, I mean, you guys are as much complicit in this as fucking Russia is. So shut the fuck up, fucking weirdos.
Education camps.
You guys were funding their fucking war machine.
These atrocities led the International Criminal Court to issue an arrest warrant for Putin in 2023 as a war criminal. Further, Trump
You should be considered a war criminal too
Ukrainian
with all the fucking bullshit you did, Bernie. Sitting on your fucking high horse.
President Zelensky a dictator. That's not true either.
See, this is why I don't like
75%
politicians.
of
All they do is fucking talk down to you, and it's like, dude, fuck off. You deserve a fucking knife in your skull.
the vote in free elections. In fact, his approval rating is higher than Trump's. In the midst of a brutal war, Ukraine's parliament continues to function and free and unfettered political debate takes place. Trump claimed that our European allies have done little to support Ukraine in its fight against Putin's invasion. He said the United States has contributed 3 times more than Europe. But that's another lie. In fact, Europe has provided more aid to Ukraine than the United States. But it's not just that Trump is lying again. That's not new. It's what this all reveals about where he wants to take our country and, in fact, the entire world. Trump is cozying up to Vladimir Putin.
He's not cozying up. I mean, do you want him to nuke Ukraine? He could. I mean, the United States could just nuke everyone and be done with it, right? Oh, I don't see your point here. You're lucky fucking Putin hasn't decided to fucking nuke the whole place.
So who is Putin? And what kind of world does he want to build? Putin is a dictator who crushed Russia's movement toward democracy after the end of the Cold War. Russia holds sham elections every 6 years where Putin wins 90% of the vote, and authorities don't even try to hide their ballot stuffing. There is no freedom of speech or free media in Putin's Russia. Protests of...
I mean, yeah, true, but you guys tried to censor too. You guys are still currently censoring, by the way. Fucking just look at some of these fucking shithead companies. Fuck you. You deserve a fucking knife in the throat.
Violently suppressed. Tens of thousands of people are in prison for protesting Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Hey, Bernie, you're gonna croak soon anyway, so it's okay, right?
Political dissidents are harassed or thrown into jail. The bravest, people like Alexei Navalny, are killed outright. Hundreds of thousands of Russians have fled Putin's...
I mean, he still hasn't talked about the fact that people were going inside of Russia and, like, trying to do, like, espionage missions and fucking kill people. Right, he didn't talk about that one time that, that one theater hall got blown up by some fucking crazy. Killed a bunch of people. Or, the hit out on one of the, I guess, I don't know if it was one of the Russian political leaders or somewhat, but they tried to assassinate him, but fucking killed his daughter instead. So it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, we're you're not presenting the story properly. You know how fucking dark this shit goes? The funny thing is, this asshole knows more information than he's letting on. That's the fucked up thing. That's the real fucked up thing. Motherfucker's a politician and he can get that information so easily. Motherfucker has access to the goddamn federal government and doesn't fucking use it.
Since his invasion of Ukraine. But Putin has maintained control in his country by offering Russia's oligarchs a simple deal. If you give me absolute power, I'll let you steal as much as you want from the Russian people. And that's why in a country where many are struggling economically, Russian oligarchs have stashed trillions of dollars in offshore tax accounts.
Don't you guys do that too? So what's the point here? I don't see what he's making here.
That is the Russian leader that Trump admires.
Oh my God, here.
That is the Russian oligarchy that he supports.
See, it doesn't help that Bernie does this and everyone on the Democrat side does this. Right? It doesn't help that Trump says right, some of the shit he says, right?
But that is not the perspective of the American people. We know, and we are proud of, the fact that the United States of America is the longest standing democracy in the world. We know that many hundreds of thousands of brave Americans over the years have fought and died to defend democracy.
Dude, you gotta stop with this fucking defend democracy. Everyone voted for Trump. That was a democracy. You need to stop. You're like going the Elizabeth Warren Warren path right now, and I fucking hate it, dude. I honestly want to fucking gut you like a goddamn hog. Because you're so fucking annoying.
We also know that our allies in the world are those countries that believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. In this critical moment in our history, I hope in this democracy.
Why were you guys sending our money to different places we didn't choose? How come we were never given a list of where that aid was going to? I didn't vote for any of that shit. What the fuck? Fuck you. You fucking tyrannical piece of shit.
Not authoritarianism. In this critical moment in our history, I hope that every American, regardless of political perspective, will stand tall and say,
oh, that's funny. Yet you still vilify Trump, who is your president, and you're still a fucking pussy.
Say yes to democracy.
You decide to suck the penis of Elizabeth Warren and all the other fucking Democrats out there. Good job.
No to oligarchy and no to authoritarianism.
Why don't you go suck off the other streamers too, you fuckwit? Fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. This dude's a fucking shady motherfucker.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, fuck you streamers who like Bernie. Burn in hell. See, this is why I don't like
Thanks,
Bernie.
Everybody.
I mean, I don't like Trump either, but he's better than fucking this fucking spineless prick. Fuck him. Dude, I bet if he had talks, if this motherfucker had talks with any of the fucking communist leaders, they'd fucking steamroll this bitch ass. He'd fucking crumble. Fucking crumble. Buckle at the knees. Same with Biden. Didn't even do shit. Drive Russia out of the ruins of a failed stand. Thrust it back onto the world stage as a global power. He seized control, crushed opposition, and confronted challenges without hesitation. Like him or not, his influence is impossible to ignore. Exactly. I mean, why do you think people keep voting for him? Even if you think he's doing something shady, there's got to be some other reason, right? I mean, we just had some shadiness in the United States, and you're still talking smack about overseas and shit. Like, why don't you worry about your own goddamn country? You're so worried about overseas problem. You're missing your own fucking country that's fucking slowly degrading because you're not paying attention. Instead, you're so worried about what the fuck is happening, not on your home fucking field. Yikes. Of Donald Trump during the election, but now I'm amazed by the Trump cabinet, many of whom I would have picked. I love his message to the Ukrainian warmongers, along with his Doge initiative. See, dude, that's what I think with everyone in fucking United States. Yeah, everyone's a fucking warmonger. All along with this Doge initiative shows, I mean, you can see it in the fucking streamers. They want to fucking cause war with each other. I mean, if you really want to cause that much war, why not just fucking get the knives out already and start fucking stabbing each other? I know some of you guys are in fucking gangs. Let's be real. There's a bunch of fucking idiots out there in the world and you're still fucking around. Hmm. Oh, the impeachment of Senator Chuck. Out of Postal, Louis Joy. They're losing 9.5 bill. SPS decreases volume added, etc. What was this? 2024? This is old, I think.
You mentioned in your testimony that the post office is different than other areas of government, that it has to operate like a private business.
Oh, maybe not.
You also mentioned that about 80%
new.
of the volume of first class mail has gone down over time. Can you think of a private business where 80% of what they're, doing to make money is going down in volume that would actually increase their employees?
Yeah. So, Senator, you keep asking. I mean, I didn't make the laws that organize the United States Postal Service. Okay. I came in, as I said, to the condition that we had, and I'm trying to fix it. Now, you exaggerate the hiring aspects.
I know of no one in private practice or investors who, give advice through a corporate board who would say, you have a declining business model, we're going to increase the numbers, but then when you have a choice of hiring contractors that won't be paid the same wages or pension benefits or health care benefits that you pay your employees, you're up 190,000. You've insourced 190,000 jobs. And it's just sort of inexplicable. The whole point of the reform of shifting the cost, it's not really reform, it's a shell game. We just took a bunch of things that are still costs on your books and we put them on somebody else's books somewhere else in government. It's still a massive cluster in a way that the debt problem is just shifted over to another account. But in doing that, the main thing you were trying to get away from was healthcare costs and pension, right? And so if you compare a contractor or a contracted employee to a government employee, an insourced employee, and you compare the health costs and the pension costs, they're dramatically higher for insource. So by increasing your number of people who work for the government as opposed to contractors, you're compounding the same problem. You were here with us 3 years ago saying, we can't handle all these other expenses. We need to shift them somewhere else. And so the reform package did that. But in contrast, then you could continue to hire more people instead of saying, well, we have all these extra costs associated with government labor. Why don't we hire labor outside of the government and use contractors?
So, in isolation on one element,
We're adding 190,000 employees. On what planet should a union that can endorse a presidential candidate be allowed to collect and deliver the ballots for that election? It's all very cut to 1 to 2 days per week of letters only to resident commercial and let the pros handle packages of FedEx. He also oversaw the great fraud of the vote by mail, which needs to be addressed by the next person. USPS has no business in elections. Don't forget what else they blew money. Here's another huge waste of money up by the USPS. This was 2024. $10 billion for electric postal trucks, adding up to around 166K each. 166. Oh yeah, there was there was this where was it? There was this one I forgot which airport, but this dude left his bag at like the airport like front desk help, or where he was boarding his plane, or like the desk receptionist person before you board your plane there. And fucking when when he went back to try and get it back, fucking it wasn't there anymore. And when they cut the camera footage, it showed that some lady picked it up, was like laughing and shit, and decided to go to the like trash can, and decided to like, and there was I guess there was another, there was there was also another person there that was videotaping everything too. So you had the airport camera videotaping them and someone else videotaping it. And it showed them just emptying the bag into the fucking trash can. So fucked up. Typical union government jobs, yeah. This is why I don't like unions, because some of these unions are kind of shady. They're shady. Oops. That was like what, Trump 100%? I don't. Well, President Trump is considering sending every American a 5,000 check called the Doge dividend. How in the God's name can Democrats fight that one? This is just too good. Make it.
Now, and he's even showing an
Number of contracts they've canceled. Two of their sizes of government figures: total government headcount, total wage.
interest in the idea of guaranteeing a $5,000 check to every American. It would be called the Doge dividend.
Hey, if we just a good Wednesday, President Trump and Elon Musk proposed 5,000 Doge dividend check for all Americans, funded by savings from the Department of Government. Doge refund, by the way, no more money for Ukraine. So they found some money. Elon dancing in front of the many people who won't be eligible for the Doge dividend. Oh my god. Jesus. Joe Rogan said something. What are your thoughts on the Doge tax refund? Waste fraud, 1 trillion to divide by 200 mil taxpayers is 5K per person. I mean, if he wants to prove it, I don't mind. I'd like some free money. Or give the money to the government and send NGO middlemen who take 70% and send the rest to unnecessary foreign domestic program. Yeah, honestly, oh, jeez. Just fucking my god. Holy shit. Oh, they did her dirty. Oh my god. Is that fucking Jamie Foxx? What the fuck? Wait, did they just fucking... Oh, retard Lane. Okay, never mind. You stand with you. Zelensky is a dick bullshit. This is Trump's most obscene lie yet. Well, I mean, the fucking Zelensky became a fucking puppet state, so literally became a fucking puppet. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't trust these politicians. I will never trust them. A bunch of two-faced motherfuckers. Did not start this war. Russia launched an unprovoked with brutal invasion, claiming hundreds. Why don't you just say he? Oh. I mean, you guys could just easily say that at one point he said, "Oh, we're going to do a military operation." Literally, when was that? Back in 2021 or 2020, whenever. He literally said that. Just say, "Oh, he just make the connection." My God, I don't know. Do you not send your children to die for men who cancel democratic elections, either here or in Ukraine? Both scum.
Good evening. I want to thank President Macron for convening us.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is Nikki Haley. The worst thing we can do is walk back from our friends right now. America needs to stand with Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine. As a resident of Western North Carolina, I'm all the Ukraine aid audited, every single damn penny. Yeah, after getting hit by a bunch of natural disasters and then, having the California fires, yeah, I mean. Oh, and then you just had the Kentucky flood, too, right? Like, oh, shit. Dude, everyone just got fucking hit. Well, we typically refrain from political commentary. President Donald Trump's recent statement regarding the war in Ukraine is so egregious that we feel compelled to respond. Several claims made by President Trump have already been debunked. We've included a response from Grok AI for which each claim demonstrates that even Grok refutes the misinformation. This has not spent $350 on this war, nor has it outspent Europe. In fact, European countries have surpassed those of you. Moreover, a significant portion of the military aid is spent in the U.S., reinvesting in the U.S. economy. President did not claim that half of money sent to Ukraine is missing. He said that half of the promised funds had not been received, which is crucial distinction. What? That's almost the same thing. He stated that half the money promised funds had not been received. What do you mean half the money not promised? I thought they already pushed forward all that shit. So you're saying half of it wasn't pushed through yet? Wait a minute. See, this is the inconsistency I was talking about. So where's the other half then? If you say this, then where's the other half? Like what? Ukrainian constitution prohibits elections during wartime. I think they're trying to say that the U.S. has not pushed the other half. But it's like I'm pretty sure the U.S. has said they pushed it. So it's like, Ukrainian constitution prohibits elections during wartime, a measure designed to protect the democratic process from foreign interference, particularly given Russia's known capabilities in this area. President Zelensky is not a dictator, as evident by Ukraine's constitutional framework and his commitment to holding elections once hostilities ceases. In contrast, it's worth noting that President Putin consistently wins elections in Russia with implausibility high percentages of votes, with opposition that falls out of the windows, is poisoned or jailed. About the nature of Russia's electoral process. And who's saying that? BBC, Japan Times. And then you got the EU. I don't like the EU. I don't like BBC. I don't like Japan Times because they're not like in Russian territory. I mean, I guess I can kind of believe the government site and .org site, I guess. President Zelensky has approval rate above 50% and not 4%. 4% is Russian disinformation. There are no NATO expansions to the east, as NATO itself cannot expand. Instead, democratic countries independently decide whether they want to become members of the alliance. And it is voluntary and involves multiple steps, including meeting specific requirement, complete formal application. It sounds like you gotta fucking buy your way into it. That allows 50 frames related to the conflict. We will remind the president with geolocated footage who started this war. Russia. Russia invaded there it is. 2022. But repeatedly denying any plans for invasion in the preceding days. Anyways. I don't know. Not my problem. I don't know why we're sticking our fucking necks out for this shit. Also, I don't know why Zelensky came over to California and then tried to fucking do some weird photo shoots and shit. That was weird. Alright, let's see what we got here.
I didn't really believe there was such a thing as Trump derangement syndrome. Hatred of Donald Trump so intense that it impairs people's judgment.
That's
I'm low income now, but I worked 40 years
no.
and paid taxes. So this cannot continue happening. So,
Ma'am,
yes, I want to talk to the city manager
Next
when
speaker,
everything is
please.
over. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Chris Cluey, 15-year HB resident. I'm here to speak out against both the plaque and the current city council. As the community made clear at the Library Commission meeting last Tuesday, everyone is in favor of a plaque to celebrate the library, but the vast, vast majority are against including a MAGA acrostic. Okay?
Why are you guys... Dude, what is up with California? This surfer dude, I don't know. I fucking hate
Unfortunately, it's clear that
California.
this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks.
Here we go.
MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA
Well,
stands for
let's just let him
resegregation
talk.
and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA
I guess he's watching CNN and
stands
everyone.
for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal.
Are you gonna say the crash in fucking Canada land was Trump's fault too?
MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is.
Bruh.
I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get the heck. Get out.
There's civil disobedience? No, no, you're not. You're getting.
Yeah, we're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
Where's Hunter?
Yeah, get him out. Get him the hell out of here. Get him out of here. Get out.
You should be ashamed of yourself. It's hard to believe that's real. It is real.
An insurrection. Call it what it is.
You are the biggest loser in the world.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What I just said.
You ain't black.
You ain't black.
It's working.
I can save you. I can help you. You are sick, and I can help you. Let me save you. Let me save you. TDS. Does anyone know what TDS is? Correct. Trump derangement syndrome.
Trump derangement syndrome. I fact checked this guy and found nothing he said is true. Are you talking about this guy? Oh yeah. The fucking the surfer bro or the cracked out dude? I don't know what the fuck is up with people in California. I think they spend too much time inside and hating themselves and hating the world. Hating Trump. That they're just willing to fucking destroy it all. Let's try to get all the memes out of the way. Proctoclone, the world's first bipedal musculoskeletal android. Uh-oh. It's probably gonna be some fucking... some abomination. Oh my god, what the fuck is that thing? This should be in a horror movie. This is a faceless, anatomically accurate synthetic human with over 200 degrees of freedom, over 1,000 myofibers, and 500 sensors. God, that's creepy. Almost looks like a fucking zombie. Dude, this has to be in a movie. Gotta put this in a movie. God, it's so fucking creepy and
Why would you do that?
unnatural.
Why would you do any of that?
I love it. Anatomically correct are we talking about here? The 600 series had rubber skin. We spotted them easy, but these are new. They look human. Sweat, bad breath, everything. Very hard to spot. You may live to see a man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Nikolai Tesla. Almost as functional as the average Kamala voter. That's terrible. The fucking skooma people. I need your jacket, your boots, and your motorcycle. I mean, look, we can just. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, here's another. Yeah, this is yeah, this is Philadelphia. I'm guessing this is like the Skid Row of Philly. Fucking everyone just cracked out, smoking some shit. Oh. What the fuck is that guy doing, dude? Anyways. Well, that shit happens. It's strange that we can always find where all the fucking cracked out people are. Everyday people.
When I think about resistance, though, I've had a lot of conversations, and one of the things that keeps coming up is how the former governor of this state was consistently doing daily briefings in the midst of COVID because we couldn't trust anything that Donald Trump was saying about the pandemic.
Right.
So everyone tuned in to really what almost was like
It was
the shadow
Biden who was in control and Fauci. Like, what are you talking about? What are we doing here?
president, the guy that was going to give us facts and not tell us to inject ourselves with bleach.
Right.
I think that we need to do
I
something
mean,
similar to that because all
wait,
they're
what?
going to
You wanna
do,
inject
him
yourself
and
with
his new
bleach?
press secretary, is spew lies upon lies upon lies.
You know, you got some nerve.
Like the shadow president, the guy that was going to give us facts and not tell us to inject ourselves with bleach.
Right.
Trump didn't advise people to inject bleach to treat COVID-19, but this is what he did say.
Now, President Biden also made false claims, at least 9 false or misleading statements on first count. I'll give you some of them. He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made
Trump said it. Trump did it. Oh, whoops. Hello. Oh, no. Oh, no, not the fact check. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think this is gonna be, today, or this is gonna go on to, the, YouTube's thumbnail with that.
foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people.
And not tell us to inject ourselves with bleach.
Right.
It spew lies upon lies upon lies. Like, I don't inject ourselves with bleach.
Right.
spew lies upon lies upon lies. Like, I don't know how anyone in this country can look at this administration and feel some semblance of any type of confidence, right? And this is all at the same time. Like,
Well, I
Elon
didn't have
doesn't want us
confidence with
talking about the
Biden.
fact that he has received almost $1 billion worth of new contract money from the U.S. government in just 2 weeks.
Yep.
$400 million for Tesla and over $300 million for SpaceX. This is nothing more than a money grab.
Is that true?
Not one bit.
That the taxpayers of the United States of America should spend $400 million buying, quote, armored Tesla production
I don't think that
units.
ever happened.
Donald Trump didn't give that contract to Elon Musk.
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
Biden
this
gave
one.
it to him. Even liberals are calling Maddow out. The $400 million armored Tesla story is a fake scandal in a sea of real graft and horror.
Says it has no plans to fulfill 400 million armored Tesla contract. Well, obviously, why would he do that?
$400 million for Tesla and over $300 million for SpaceX. This is nothing more than a money grab.
SpaceX is fine, because aren't they working with some of the NASA people too? So, see, I'm confused on this whole situation. Why do people hate NASA and SpaceX so much? What the fuck is going on? You guys really fucking hate scientists that much? Jesus fuck, man. You guys are fucking cooked.
Spew lies
Might as well just swallow some bleach while you're at it.
upon lies upon lies. I mean, we need people that are experts, not idiots that play on Fox News or play on the internet.
You're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
Yeah.
These people are crazy.
Yeah, you might as well just swallow bleach at this point, because Jesus Christ. This is fucking so annoying. Guys, after pleading guilty in Ralph Yarl shooting. Wait, what do you mean?
And the man who pled guilty to the shooting of local teen Ralph Yarl has died. Andrew Lester entered a guilty plea last week, just days before he was set to stand trial.
And his death comes less than 3 weeks before he was set to be sentenced by a Clay County judge. Fox 4's Dave DeMarco tonight on the abrupt end to a case.
About to be sentenced and then
Sources
died.
tell Fox 4 he did not take his own life. The Clay County Prosecutor's Office said in a statement, while the legal proceedings have now concluded, continued their defense attorney.
For instance, an SI period, he would not have a conviction.
Yarl's family released a statement saying news of Lester's passing brings a mix of emotion, but does not bring justice.
Well, I mean, he passed away because of his oldness. Yeah, I never heard of this case either. Ralph Yarl shooting. Yeah, what if they say? I've never heard of this case. Dies while awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty and shooting. This is up in Missouri.
Trump has
There's a dictator without elections, Donald
US
Trump.
President Donald Trump has intensified his attacks on Ukraine's wartime president. He's accused Volodymyr Zelensky of being a dictator and a terrible leader who better move fast or he won't have much of a country left. Earlier, President Trump accused Ukraine of starting the war with Russia and called on the Ukrainian president to hold elections.
Well, I mean, the whole... I don't know why Like, I don't know why they want the United States to foster some kind of peace deal between these two. These two people have to make the fucking peace deal themselves. It has nothing to do with the European Union or the fucking United States of America, right? It's these two fucking warring countries and probably the ones who are funding the fucking bullshit in Ukraine. Okay, maybe so that's right. Some of the EU people and fucking some of the Americans. But at the end of the day, it's Zelensky and fucking Putin who have to fucking sign the deal.
Elections, claiming he had an approval rating of just 4%. Volodymyr Zelensky responded to those claims overnight, saying
if
Donald
both
Trump
of them do
has
not
fallen for Russian
agree to
disinformation.
anything, it's not good, right? It's just gonna get war.
We understand that this is coming from Russia. We understand this, and we have evidence that these numbers are being discussed between America and Russia. Unfortunately, President Trump, with who we have great respect as a leader, and the American people who support us, but unfortunately, he lives in this disinformation space.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has criticised Volodymyr Zelensky's hysterical reaction to the meeting between American and Russian officials in Ukraine, saying, "President Trump told me during our phone call, I can confirm it, that of course the US assume that both Russia and Ukraine will take part in the negotiating process. Nobody is excluding Ukraine from this process, so there are no reasons for such a reaction to the Russia-US meeting." Mark Stone has more now from Florida.
Florida, because that is where Donald Trump is, where he has been since Friday, where he issued that.
Yeah, the fact that Zelensky's being like, oh, there's no peace deal that's going to be fostered.
Broadside news conference last night on against President Zelensky, and where today he has been posting on Truth Social with some truly remarkable language that will, well, to say it will alarm.
Is he
Zelensky
talking about the Truth
and,
Social
European
posting
nations,
too?
I think is an understatement. Let's take you through key bits of an extraordinary statement. Donald Trump said, "Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a..."
Oh, I think because there was a well, is he talking about the comedian videos? I don't know if it was of Zelensky or not, but yeah, there was a comedian who was like that looked like Zelensky. He was doing some fucking he was posting on YouTube, I think.
A war that he, without...
See if I can find it. Oh, maybe it was Zelensky. Oh, yeah. Was it this one? Yes. Oh, he was an actor. And yeah, here we go, yeah.
І закриваємо Росію від цивілізованого світу. Наше національне
Ukrainian President was a real hero. Real hero. He was in the fucking basically entertainment industry. Yeah. So yeah, that's what yes, he was an old actor. Yeah, or well, he back when he was younger, he was an actor. So I think that's why a lot of people like him. And Dancing with the Stars. Oh my god, I forgot he was with on Dancing with the Stars? Oh, the Ukraine version though, that's why. And now he became the president, and that's why they like him so much.
US and Trump would never be able to settle. He goes on to say, quite alarmingly for Europe, this war is far more important to Europe than it is to us. We have a big, beautiful ocean as separation. And he continues
still a
with
pussy,
more of what
though.
he said yesterday in Mar-a-Lago.
Sorry.
He says he refuses to have elections. It's very low in Ukrainian polls, and the only thing he was good at was playing Biden like a fiddle. A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast. Or
Yeah, I
he is
mean,
not going
he's
to
no
have a country
soldier,
left.
right? He's just
And
an
towards the
actor.
end of the lengthy statement, President Trump
He's
says, in the
not a
meantime, we're
Putin
successfully
who's
negotiating
fucking
an end to the war
ex-KGB.
with Russia, something all admit only Trump
I
and the
mean,
Trump
he's not. Well,
administration
Trump isn't
can
fucking.
do. So honestly,
wasn't a
where
part
to
of the
start with
military
that?
either.
I mean, it follows the news conference that Zelensky gave this morning, in which he said in straight terms that he believed Donald Trump was being misled, that he was saying things that simply aren't true. I mean, it's worth stating it is demonstrably untrue. That,
Honestly, even with Trump's inflammatory words, I think. I mean, he's obviously trolling. I mean, he's obviously trying to rile people up. I mean, just look at his words. He just says some outrageous shit sometimes. Just like, Jesus.
Zelensky has a 4% approval rating.
Oh,
the
God.
Ukrainian polls suggest that he's
Rip.
at 50.
They're back at
or
it.
perhaps,
All the
more.
VTubers back
the
at
reason he
it.
hasn't had elections is because he is
I
at a
should do- Why aren't they watching Shoe on Head videos? What the fuck is going on?
state of war. So this
What
is
is
extraordinary
happening?
language by Donald Trump, and it seems to so swiftly have changed the Western alliance, effectively removing America from it. Very, very powerful language from a man who really does hold the key when it comes to what happens in Ukraine right now.
There we go. Little dictator Xeno election. Harsh warning Zelensky for bad mouthing Trump. Wait, he actually Oh, was it on post on Truth Social? I don't care.
Hey everybody, welcome to another.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I found this.
Are you hungry, little lady? Yeah, you hungry?
Hold on, this one. Literally freaks the fuck out because it sounded like a goddamn person. Oh, so good. A fucking cat became a parrot.
This is locking. Look at this. Ready?
Oh yeah, this stuff.
So look at this thing as it hovers back and forth. It's not a magnet, but as soon as it gets to be 320 degrees below zero, it turns into its own levitating, almost hovercraft. The really cool thing is watch it lock in place like this. So when it locks in, watch this, lock it in. You can actually feel it as it locks. See how it locks in place? This is locking. Look at this. Ready? So look at this thing as it hovers back and forth. It's not a magnet, but as soon as it gets to be 320 degrees below zero, it turns into its own levitating, almost hovercraft. The really cool thing is...
Okay, anyways. I don't think I've ever seen MTG so angry than when it comes to Ilhan Omar. Marjorie Taylor Greene, what happened?
Censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis.
Yes, definitely.
In which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else.
This guy.
They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others.
Yeah!
Representative Omar has revealed herself to be a foreign agent acting on behalf of a foreign government.
Yeah. Throwing out the fucking... throwing out the treason. There was also videos of her talking to like I think undocumented people from like Somalia or something, and she was all like, and she was just trying to tell them, yeah, you just deny anything the cops tell you, don't answer any of their questions. I was like, Jesus. Aiding and abetting fucking illegals. Nice. Says the wildfires and says she had no idea of danger when she left for Ghana. That's bullshit. She had to have... You had a phone call. That's bullshit. When the fires probably happened, she got a phone call.
Felt absolutely terrible not being here for my city.
I call bullshit on that.
LA Mayor Karen Bass gives us her first sit-down TV interview since the Palisades fire began and opens up about traveling on a diplomatic mission to Ghana with dangerous winds in LA's forecast.
When I say it was a mistake, absolutely, the idea that I was not present was very painful.
You lying piece of human trash!
We know that there was warnings about the weather before you went, and you still went. What was the thought process
she's
behind
garbage.
going to Ghana?
When the White House called,
Just like every other human being on this fucking planet.
The president, I said yes.
Who allowed
it was
this
going to
shit
be
to happen.
a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days.
You're lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor says LA Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not call her to warn her in advance of the trip and didn't do the, quote, normal preparations for this kind of wind event.
That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country.
What do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problems, warning that this was going to be a huge...
So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
Why didn't
But to me, I don't know. I mean, I think that that's one of the things we need to look at.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Fucking useless. Fucking useless. Quota hiring takes you. How long did it take to rehearse for the interview? Yeah. To represent the president. Alright, Laura, Ben's on fire. And California, too. The dog ate my homework. Yep. The horse ate my homework. Took a trip on the taxpayer's dime. How the hell do these people get elected? I know, right? DEI toad. No example of DEI. I can't even complain about that one. She's a cunt. She's definitely a piece of shit. She's a garbage human being. MSNBC analyst claims Trump's recent viral quote actually belongs to a white supremacist. Not Napoleon.
You know, with regard to this statement, which again, we shall not believe Reince Priebus when he says, don't worry, that someone who saves his country cannot violate a law. Okay, it's been attributed by some historians who aren't certain to Napoleon, but I'll tell you where it's definitely been used far more recently, and that's with a white supremacist, far-right extremist named Anders Breivik in Norway, who killed 77 people in Norway, the worst modern mass murder in Norwegian history.
Wait, why are we talking about
A
Norway?
mass murder, 2 separate incidents by him on the same day, including a mass murder at a kids camp in Norway. And he's the one who describes himself as a neo-Nazi who's used that statement more recently in history. And now our president is quoting that white supremacist neo-Nazi murderer.
What is
If
he
you voted for
talking
that,
about?
You
Where
really
is
need to
this
question
guy
whether you're
going?
American anymore? But that's who's using that kind of statement. And listen.
What? Holy shit! This guy is off his rockers. What the fuck? Trump breathed there, and you know who else breathed there? Adolf Hitler. Guess you regret your vote now, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Everyone... Right, everyone, took a breath of air from Hitler at one point. Right, because he's part of the earth now, since he's in the fucking ground. So you're breathing the same air as Adolf Hitler. Does that make you want to fucking drink bleach now? Does that want to make you noose yourself, huh?
Does Trump sit and read Norwegian history? Hell no. Someone is handing him this story, this quote, and we need to figure out who keeps spoon-feeding him the white supremacy, white terrorist philosophy. If you voted for that, you really need to question whether you're American anymore.
Go to hell.
Yeah. Go to hell. Yeah, exactly. Fucking weirdo. We started. Sound like a communist to me. Can we exile him to North Korea? I know, right? Can we ship them to China or Russia? Yeah, ship them on the front lines of whichever conflict, right? Let's ship them to the Congo. Let's ship them to the Middle East. Anyway. What do we got here? Byron Donald exposes Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries on live TV.
Inflation is going up under this administration.
Yeah, you didn't count the last 4 years. As usual, fucking discount Obama.
Inflation is going up.
Dollar Tree Obama.
That was the January inflation
99-cent
report.
store Obama.
Joe Biden was the president in January for the bulk of the month. And
And they expect, and what they thought that Trump being in for the last 10 days is supposed to just plummet this issue. Unbelievable how phony that is.
Oh, hell no. Hey, listen, it is unbelievable, but to quote a former president, I believe he was the 44th president, we have inherited a very terrible situation from the previous administration. Yeah! The inflation is created by Joe
Obama.
Biden, Kamala Harris. By the way, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, who were just talking about inflation, that is their
Oh
fault.
wait,
They're
I
the
think
ones
he's
that
talking about
unleashed
Trump.
massive federal
I think he
spending
messed up.
when it
He
didn't need to be that
meant
way. They're the ones that
45th,
created a
right?
labor shortage. And so rest assured, Donald Trump's economic plan is going to stabilize prices and lower them. But it takes being energy dominant. There's stuff that we have to move through Congress to make that happen.
You need to wait a little bit, and the main thing is not
Hakeem
to
Jeffries
listen.
can join us in the House to make that occur. We have to maintain Donald Trump's tax policy and do the things he talked about on the campaign trail, like no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. The other big thing we have to do, and Hakeem, I welcome you to join us in this, we have to cut federal spending. You cannot continue to spend massive amounts of money, which we do have to borrow, and then it drives up borrowing costs, not just for the federal government, but on every American worker, every American business, and every American family. We have to cut federal spending. That is the #1 way you can get inflation out of the system. So we would ask for Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to join us in that. It's time for Washington to be fiscally responsible. Maybe they'll step up.
Yes! I mean, not wrong. Yeah, they're bitching that too. They're bitching about the price of eggs when it's their fault. We didn't vote the Democrats out for nothing. The Democrats are in trouble if these two clowns are their leadership. Neither has any credibility or likable qualities. Well, I mean, just look at David Hogg and that other dude. David Hogg just got caught up in some fucking scheme. Both should be arrested. Byron Donalds is great. Oh, his political career takes off. So these two are the best in the Democratic Party. No wonder on her knees Harris was their party's nominee. Alright. Memology. View co-host rages at American's name. Why is it named after a white man? Amerigo Vespucci?
I don't actually hate renaming the Gulf of America, and I'm going to tell you why. It's a more inclusive term. It is North America. Mexico and the United States are part of the Americas. It would be petty if he called it the Gulf of the United States by basically saying it's our countries, it's not yours. But these are the things Donald Trump does to trigger reaction from the media, so they cover this and pay more attention than we're wholesale getting rid of government agencies, or we're confirming Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. I'm perfectly fine with it, and I'm perfectly fine with the AP covering it how they think they should.
In that case, this country that we're in was settled by indigenous people, right? And yet they named the country after an Italian white man, Amerigo Vespucci.
Yeah.
That's what America is named after. Amerigo.
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't come overseas for no reason. I mean, he's the one that found the body of land. Why not just name it after him? Who cares? So what? So what? Are you gonna now change the name because you don't like where your fucking where your history came from? Like, what are we doing here? Like I said, a lot of people need to go back to history class and take some time reading the fucking history book. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Vespucci, a white European. Why is it named after a white man?
Well, let me ask you.
Why is it named after a white man? Well, because when you weren't born, they fucking found this piece of land. That's why.
Settled by indigenous people.
They found this piece of land for America to settle on. And that's how we came to be, okay? That's all you need to know. Now stop being fucking brain dead and actually fucking learn your goddamn history. Go for liberal tears, yep. Settled by indigenous people. How can you settle somewhere you're indigenous to? Yeah, I don't know. Why are Newton's laws of motion named after a white man? Why was math invented by white people? Why was science invented by white? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Yeah. Oh, goddamn Europeans. fucking their goddamn culture and learning. Fuck learning. Fuck education. What do you got here? Tony LC.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Merry Christmas to everybody who is watching this video. I support LGBT. Let's grow business together. Let's have a set of letters. At night it will be even more eye-catching. I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm gay.
I'm gay. I'm gay. Amazing manufacturer generate science. Anyways, if you want to start a business on a budget, make sure you go to the Source Factory.
What's up, California? My name is Alex. What's up, Maiden?
Oh god, this one. Yeah, I've seen this
Gay
one.
as fuck.
Gay.
You guys are gay as fuck. Anyways, we've been making signs for more than 14 years. You can't say I gave up without saying I gay. So don't give up.
Okay.
5'8" and 13 inches, there's no way.
Yes, there is. And if you don't know how to take your business to the next level, come see us with this ultra-thin light box.
This is the biggest I've ever seen in real life, but this is fine. It's completely fine.
Yes, I know. Because we've been making signage for more than 14
Yes,
years.
I
Any
know.
size can be customized.
If this is you, you better lower your mother tone when you talking to me.
If you don't know how to make a store sign, take it from me.
Number one, your question is, what is your biggest mistake?
The biggest beef steak.
Anyway,
The biggest beef
was not buying
steak.
the sign from LC Sign.
Ticklish. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
What's up, homie? It's Tony. This is an ASMR video. Boomba let me show you something shine and bright like a diamond.
Just put it in your mouth and swallow it and pretend like you like it.
I'm happy your mom didn't swallow you because you're my best friend.
What the
my
fuck?
favorite expression in English
Holy
is
shit.
the one that says, never bite the hand of the one that fingers you.
It's
Something
the
like
one that
and here's how
fingers
to
you.
tell if your LED sign is cheap. If someone calls you fat, just ignore them. You're bigger than that.
Got blunt.
Sup, dude? I'm Tony. Are you looking forward to 2025, homie?
Listen, Starbucks is, every brother should have a cup of Starbucks in their hand. Because the police leave you alone when you have a latte. You hold it, brother. Hold that. Look how safe he looks. Give it to the other brother.
Look how safe he looks.
Look at that. Give it to the other brother.
They were just taking poses with it.
Anyways, folks, an awful LED sign may easily flicker due to low quality and dangerous transformer.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Jesus.
Morning, boss.
Is this OnlyFans?
Hi, boss.
My
Give me a
god.
milk?
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, boss. It's not that LCD TV are affordable, but this vertical light box is more cost effective.
I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me.
What's up, homie? I'm Tony. Let me show you some magic trick. Have you ever seen such a light box that is so easy to operate? You can use this to show that your store is open or closed. It would also be a good idea to put this above the door to show the toilet or staff only. We can make any size you want. No ammo, Q.
Alright. Tony LC son, there you go. Let's grow business together. Is Elon's Grok 3 the new AI king? I don't know, is it?
Yet another deep-thinking large language model hit the timeline, crushing existing benchmarks and reaching the coveted #1 spot on the LM Arena leaderboard. This new model is none other than Elon's based and red-pilled Grok 3. Not only is it smart as hell, but it's also mostly uncensored and will generate content that's illegal in many parts of the world. It has a deep thinking mode like DeepSeek R1. It can apparently do text to video, and in the near future will have a paid subscription for something even more powerful called Super Grok. I'm already paying for Twitter Premium Plus just to access Grok 3, so that's a slap in the face, but in today's video, we'll find out what makes Grok special, how they trained it, and if it truly is the best LLM in the world. It is February 18th, 2025, and you're watching The Code Report. Last week, Elon attempted to troll OpenAI by offering to buy it out. Not surprisingly, the OpenAI board promptly rejected this offer, and Sam Altman is still on track to make it for profit and get his big payday. The AI Game of Thrones is ruthless, and Mark Zuckerberg, one of the big players vying for the throne, took a big loss last week when it was revealed that he signed off on using 82 terabytes of pirated books to train their llama models, which he obtained through the Library Genesis project, which contains millions of books and paywalled articles. I just can't believe Zuckerbucks would do something like that, though, said nobody ever. When it comes to training AI, though, one thing that's special about Grok is that it's the only model that has direct access to the fire hose of data from Twitter, and XAI developers have optimized this model for maximum truth-seeking, even if that comes at the expense of being politically correct.
Yeah, not politically
correct. Things like generate images of celebrities, or have it write a profanity-laced poem about racial stereotypes. In the name of science, I tried this prompt on every LLM, and it was blocked on every single one of them except for Grok. The response it gave me is so offensive that I can't even show it here on YouTube, and if you posted something like this in a country that doesn't have the right to free speech.
Grok is like probably the most offensive AI right now. Compared to all the other AIs, you can't say pretty like offensive things, right? Versus Grok, you can say all the offensive shit you want.
You could quite literally go to jail. Despite that, Grok 3 should be available in countries like Germany and the UK soon. That's a huge win if you're a professional internet troll, but how good is Grok in reality? Well, currently it's sitting on top of LM Arena, which is basically a blind taste test where humans compare different LLMs side by side. And reaching the top means that it's pretty dang good. In addition, we have another benchmark showing Grok beating Gemini, Claude, DeepSeek, and GPT-4 when it comes to math, science, and coding. However, conveniently, it's missing OpenAI O3, and when you add that model in, it paints a much different picture. It's also missing the Code Forces and Arc AGI benchmarks, and benchmarks are almost always cherry-picked for obvious reasons. The only thing I care about is my own proprietary vibe check, and it did things like generate valid Svelte 5 code in one shot and help me build a game in Godot. Overall, it did a great job and appears to be plateauing at the same level as
it did do that, so it
Godot.
can.
Overall,
help me build a bullet scene for a player in Godot that collides with an enemy. And then write a Sevalite 5 app using runes that takes input from a microphone and visualize it as a wave. Don't know what the fuck that means.
5 code in one shot and helped me build a game in Godot. Overall, it did a great job and appears to be plateauing at the same level as all the other state-of-the-art models. Recently, the AI grift has shifted from creating bigger, better base models to creating better prompting frameworks like Deep Research and Big Brain mode. Another interesting detail about Grok, though, is that they provided details on how it was actually trained at the Colossus supercomputer in Memphis, Tennessee, which is currently believed to be the world's largest AI supercomputer. It contains a cluster of over 200,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs, with
that's
plans
a lot
to
of
expand
money.
to 1 million GPUs. The facility uses so much electricity that they can't get it all from the grid and brought in a bunch of portable generators just to power the thing. And they're going to need all that power when Super Grok comes out, which is expected to cost $30 per month, which would be a highly...
So yeah, data centers take a lot of energy to make. You need a lot of fucking energy for data centers like that. And if you're running those 24/7 too, yeah, that's a lot of energy going through that place.
competitive price compared to ChatGPT Pro at $200 per month. As a developer, I'm already going broke paying for Claude, Cursor, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, Codium, Midjourney, and Watson X, but for some reason my code quality is worse than ever. A better strategy to learn how to code is to start from the ground up, and you can do that today for free thanks to this video's sponsor, Brilliant. Their platform provides interactive hands-on lessons that demystify the complexity of deep learning. With just a few minutes of effort each day, you can understand the math and computer science behind this seemingly magic technology. I'd recommend starting with Python, then check out their full How Large Language Models Work course if you really want to look under the hood of ChatGPT. Try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for 30 days by going to brilliant.org/fireship or use the QR code on screen. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh no, he added DeepSeek to Grok. I don't understand how people still don't talk about Claude as much, even though it is still technically the best AI for coding in some other areas. Oh. As MSNBC and CNN fight to dig out of a post-election ratings hole. More bad news for MSNBC as they hemorrhage viewers and are now losing the News Nation weekend ratings battle. Rashida Jones steps down after 4-year tenure. Fox News aired all 500 of the most watched cable news shows since November 5th election. Jesus. News to lay off employees, CNBC reports. Oops. Not making any money anymore? Fire hundreds of staff amid ratings crisis. Beast Mode CNN's ratings are lower than SpongeBob reruns, GOP rep tells Jim Acosta.
You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. This is CNN. This is the news.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim.
That's a good one.
And this is the news.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim.
Alright. Do the next. Caroline Levitt reveals the secret to missing billions on live TV.
I've been fighting fake news reporters all day long here in the Washington, D.C. swamp who are trying to fearmonger the American people into believing that this administration is going after their hard-earned tax dollars and their hard-earned Social Security checks.
Wow. Yeah.
So I want to set the record straight on your show tonight, Sean, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do so. President Trump has directed Elon Musk and the Doge team to identify fraud at the Social Security Administration. They haven't dug into the books yet, but they suspect that there are tens of millions of deceased people who are receiving fraudulent Social Security payments.
Oh my God!
And so their goal in going into the Social Security Administration is to identify three things. Number one, to identify duplicate payments and to end them. Number two, to identify payments that are going to deceased people who are no longer living and should no longer be receiving that money. And number three, to protect the integrity of this system for hardworking Americans who have been paying into it their entire lives.
Yeah!
So rest assured to all of the people watching your show tonight, if you paid into the system honestly, you will continue to receive your Social Security checks. Do not buy into the lies from the legacy fake news media who are trying to fear you and scare you into believing otherwise.
That's right.
This is what we've seen them do about President Trump for years with every promise that he has made. And he's going in there to protect your hard-earned money. That is the ultimate goal.
Boom! Drop the mic.
There you have it. Oh, this was yesterday. Oh yeah, I forgot. There was some stuff yesterday I didn't watch. Just clowned on the media. Oh, is it this one? Yeah. We already saw this one like yesterday.
Make a path for us, that's all.
He's like, you all a bunch of liars.
Why don't you take questions from the press?
Just because y'all liars.
What are we lying about exactly? Yeah, what are we lying about exactly?
Why don't you take questions from the press? Y'all liars. What are we lying about exactly?
Activists and reporters' clothing. Yep. This is yesterday. I don't care about that much. Sorry, liberals thinking with one-liners. This is yesterday. Don't care. This was yesterday. Let's just. Let's try to get all the
Episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat that like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, the MGTOW Book Collection Part 2.
No!
Whether you're getting camel toe in Cambodia, banging babes in burqas in Turkey, or taking Polaroids of ladyboys in Thailand.
Jesus.
Luca Vendetti has a series of books to make you a dream. His new 3-booklet series includes How to Live on $500 a Month in Cambodia, Turkey, and Vietnam, in addition to his classic How to Retire on $200K in Southeast Asia. He also has the MGTOW book. Visit MGTOWbooks.com and use the promo code Sandman to get 10% off. Now available in 4 formats: PDF, MOBI for Kindle, EPUB, and text-to-speech MP3. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number 1 are people who built this shanty town going to benefit from the beautiful cathedrals like the one below when they get to Europe. They will benefit from the beauty that others built, but they won't maintain it. They'll only neglect it and destroy it over time. The elites want us to think that refugees are poor and suffering, but here's the difference between refugees in the past and refugees today. Today they're economic refugees, and not generally political ones. Moving on, hey everyone, looks like we have the Jeet reckoning with some Indians saying that Christ should be treated like a dog born of a cheating whore wife. I'm glad to see that now that the West has accepted many Indians, they feel comfortable on pooping on Christianity. I'm sure it's harmless fun though, because who in their right mind would be threatened by this?
The fuck is
so stunning and brave. Number 3 are pregnant male seahorses. Would human females force this on males if they could? Of course they would, but lucky for us they can't. Once we get the surgical ability to swap genitals, I'm sure that the wives out there will demand that many of their husbands give them their wedding tackle so that the husband can stay at home and get pregnant. Give them a few more years and I'm sure they'll be implanting uteruses into the abdomens of young transgender boys. Up next here we have a woman receiving equality for a change. Abby and Brittany had to pay 2 separate tuitions, but now their job only pays them 1 salary. I wonder if they had to pay double the room and board too. These are the only individuals I'm willing to refer to as they them. They also share the same man, their husband. I'm sure he's going to be the first man in history to pay double the alimony when he gets divorced from them one day. Number 5, apparently JD Vance aligns properly with the globalist push to flood America with Indians. Now that Canada, Australia, and the UK have been flooded, now it's time to do the same with America. And even Elon wants to bring in tons of Indians with H-1B visas. Looks like American Pie is about to be replaced by chicken tandoori. And it's not just about bringing Indians in general, but 1,000 Indian men for every 1 Indian woman to compete with white men for women in the West. Moving on, James Norton, a potential James Bond actor, says that men should atone for their patriarchal crimes in the past. What a total 00 simp. If he gets selected, many men will boycott the film because he's a male feminist. The past sucked for both men and women. The patriarchy was a myth. Sure, men had authority, but if we didn't, then everyone would starve or be conquered by foreigners. Number 7, is it true that all women are catfishing?
Oh no! Oh no, Melanie Mac up here getting
Of course. Women put their best
called
foot
out.
forward with makeup and revealing clothing to attract the best men they can. All that
Again.
eyeliner is potent dark magic. Here you have the before and after sex photos.
Jesus.
Maybe women's profiles on dating apps need to be photos with and without makeup. One casual and the other is a catfish. Is
What's
Melanie Mac
that just-
deceptive with her makeup? Up next, here's the look on Rachel Zegler's face while she's watching the original Snow White.
Jeez.
You know exactly what she's thinking.
Man,
You
why does
can't kiss her
they keep
without her
making her
consent, and
like
Prince Charming won't
Farquaad,
be kissing
man?
me in my version of the film. Just to piss her off, though, even more, maybe they need to cast Andrew Tate as the prince. You just know that Walt Disney would be rolling over in his grave if he could see what the company was doing to the legacy of his masterpiece. Number 9, this woman says that DNA tests aren't cheap. Ferdinand gets back to her and says that it's still cheaper than raising his wife's boss's son. So I guess women are now using the excuse that it's too expensive to do them, so that's why they have to cuckold their husbands. I guess maybe men need to start calling out women like this for being cheap, the way women call out men for being cheap on everything else. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but a DNA paternity test is around the same price as a woman's haircut. Moving on, when was the last time you went to a movie theater? Ironically enough, for me, it was to watch the first Joker film. Earlier that year was Endgame. Since then, I haven't seen anything in the theater, and the closest theater near me that's clean enough to visit, Queensway Cinemas, is about to be torn down and turned into condos.
Uh-oh.
The age of the movie theater is over.
Rip.
I can't believe it's been 5.5
I think I
years since
still
went to
have.
one. Number 11.
I have like a local movie theater that's still kind of going, I think. I haven't been there in a while, but I think it's still going. And then there's like a AMC theater in like a plaza down like, I don't know, like 15 minutes away, 12 minutes away.
11 is the age-old question. Why are hurricanes normally named after women up until 1979? Obviously because when they come, they're wild and wet, and when they go, they take your house and car. Maybe it's no coincidence that they started naming hurricanes after both males and females once no-fault divorce got pushed through in the 1970s. Only stupid men get married. Who wants to
Only
risk a
stupid
hurricane with a cooch ruining their lives? Up next, the University of Iowa announces plans to close their gender studies, women's studies, and sexuality studies departments, as well as scaling back their DEI initiatives. Maybe they saw that thanks to DEI initiatives, LA burned to the ground, and are worried that something might happen in their state as well. I suspect they shut down their women's and gender study departments because enrollment is down, and women are finally running out of other people's money. Number 13, just to show you how weak vegans are.
Gold diggers
this
are
vegan
getting,
family sends a note to their neighbor,
they're losing their
complaining
gold,
about how
their
smelling
money.
their meat
Well.
meals is making them feel sick. Not actually sick, just feeling sick. If my vegan neighbor sent me this letter, I just put a steak in his mailbox. But what would you do if you got this letter? I topped the mail steak off by putting a frozen piss disc under the door, knowing that when it thaws, it'll give them a nice surprise. Why, if vegans hate meat so much, do they pretend like they're still eating it?
Yeah.
Moving on, here we have what many vegans are living
Oh,
off
the
these
Soylent.
days.
Yeah.
They're drinking Soylent, which is a soy-based protein drink.
Yeah.
Is this really a cyberpunk beverage, or is it really the power drink of soy boys? If it was actually made
No,
of people, then at
it's
least
for
guys like
soy
this
boys.
wouldn't have this soy face. The only good thing is that Canada has banned it. What's wrong with the United States? Do you really want more of your men to look like this guy? Number 15, this woman is upset because she was supposed to go to the first date, but the guy refused to pay for her nails to get done. So she ended up canceling the date and blocking him because he didn't know he was supposed to pay for her. I'm guessing the Caucasian women don't act like this, so I'm assuming it must be a cultural thing. She's not the problem. The real problem is there's still tons of simps out there that would pay to get her nails done, expecting nothing in return. Up next, new bubble wrap will no longer pop when you squeeze it, and the entire world is crying about it. You know what this means, don't you?
No,
The
no
old
more
stuff that pops is
popping
going to be
bubble
worth a
wrap?
fortune,
God damn it.
and you can sell it to people for various birthday parties so kids can jump on it and have some fun.
Yeah, I know,
But I
right?
don't know if I believe this story because I first saw this meme 10 years ago, and the bubble wrap still seems to be popping. Number 17, this is the moment that Louis realized
This is
why Rob
fucked
had been
up.
buying him lunch every day for the past 2 years, while they were on the force together. Because Rob makes a great bulletproof vest. I guess sometimes he can't run, but you can hide. Then again, is Rob really sure what he's doing? After all, I wouldn't want to be behind anyone that big when they went down. They might just crush me to death, which kind of defeats the purpose. Moving on, an Airbnb owner is furious after Lonely Fool star Lily Phillips used this place to smash one of her guys.
I already know
the
about
motto of the
this.
story is don't rent out your place to a whore.
Oh yeah,
Then
isn't
again,
there like a news story out on her that she got like pregnant or something after this incident? Uh-oh.
Probably just angry that she didn't invite him to participate in the festivities. She's gonna have 1,000 guys bang her shortly. What's she
I
gonna
don't know
rent out
about
to
that.
do
Apparently she got
a
pregnant.
gymnasium or possibly a public school.
Alright, OnlyFans Lily Phillip reveals she's pregnant hours after Bonnie Blue. Pregnancy rumors. Oh, that's why. Bonnie Blue, the woman that slept with 1,000 men in 12 hours, is allegedly pregnant. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, then Lily Phillips is allegedly pregnant now. I can't even. Pregnant, 1 to 2, apparently. 1, almost 2. Who knows? I don't know.
Airbnb should ban her, though, for breaking their terms. Number 19, the cartoonist George Alexopoulos decided to draw this exaggerated picture of Pearl Davis. I'm glad she didn't go after him legally or try and get his ex or YouTube account a strike for basically making fun of her.
Yeah,
then again, I think
Jesus
you can get away with something like this if you make a person look like a caricature or a parody of what they really look like. George seems pretty blue-pilled, and this is a response to Pearl Davis wanting to give out the award for Catfish of the Year. Up next is a woman with a lot of red flags. Namely,
What the
tattoos.
fuck is
But what's
that?
going on with her fupa region? Looks like she's got a front butt. Either that or it's possible that she has a vertical cesarean incision baby delivery scar. All I can say is that's one hell of a camel toe. Is this
Yeah, what
because
the
of high
fuck?
mileage, or did we just discover a new type of hole? Maybe it's the
No,
world's
it's
largest
a new
zucchini.
type of-
Number
please
21 is
no.
Intani, and she's 43 years old. Educated with a good job. Keeps fit and cooks and cleans. But
Oh,
she's
man.
wondering why she can't
Dude, this. I think he makes some funny YouTube videos.
get a boyfriend. Home Math, one of my new favorite YouTube channels, says, because you're 43 years old. But many older quality guys are not attracted to women over 40, except maybe younger guys for sports. But for her to get an older high quality man to commit to her will most likely never happen. All she makes is great target practice for some young Gen Alpha. Moving on, channeling the ghost of New Year's past, this woman said her 2016 resolution was no more Hummers. But half past midnight, she had a schwing in her pie hole. This is just
Jesus.
attention-seeking behavior, and she's probably hoping that some Chad with lower standards reads this and then runs into her in real life and wants to commit to her. Based on the way that she
Oh,
looks,
goodness.
though, I might actually be a guy. Number 23, this woman slashes her boyfriend with a knife because he wanted to break up with her. She said he wasn't leaving until he bled. But she'll probably get let off and convince the judge
crazy
that
lady.
somehow she's still the victim. Is it just my
What?
imagination, or does her right chesticle look bigger than the
A woman slashes boyfriend with knife because he wants to break up. Not leaving until you bleed. Oh, pressed. I think it's this one, right? Nope, wrong one. But this is another. Woman stabs boyfriend in neck after argument over wedding venue. Like, what the fuck? Women, what is wrong with you? Holy shit. You guys are nuts. Fucking lunatic. Oh, yeah, this is the one right here. Scorned lover slashes boyfriend for trying to break up with her in Long Island home, not leaving until I see you plead. This was last year. Like, yeah, Jesus fuck women. Like, see, this is why men try not to fucking get with fucking women. Because you guys are fucking psychos sometimes. Holy shit. Just fucking cool off. My God.
Women are
Y'all
getting
need a
crazy
goddamn
these days.
relax.
Up next is a 47-year-old single mom of 3. She's unemployed, mentally unstable, and a bi-alcoholic. The first red flag is lying about her age. But
Yeah,
if you
what?
can't get past that, then aren't you just
Laura, 26, 47, alcoholic. Like, what? What the fuck?
excited to be with a middle-aged single mother? She changed her age rating because she probably wants to match with a younger man for sex. She obviously missed the fact that she's a liar by posting 2 different numbers. What I want to know is how a vegan can eat chicken nuggets. Looks
yeah.
like someone is trolling hard. Number 25 on the last one is a picture of Whoopi today.
God damn. I saw this and I was just like, oh fuck. This is so fucked. God damn.
And Whoopi in the past. Boy, does she look rough. She looks like she evolved into one of the Morlocks from the Time Machine. As far as I'm concerned, the top one is also prettier. No, seriously, it is. If you had to smash one, I'm sure you choose the top one too. The top one reminds me of when I was a kid and I used to go fishing and catching catfish. Just without the whiskers. Maybe we should call it the whoop fish. So that's it for another memes of the week.
Dude.
Please give this video a
There's
like to
something
push it
wrong
up in
with
the
you.
algorithm, and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep
Before the
making it,
Chinese
then donate at the
belt
PayPal
one.
and subscribe star links below. Anyways, enjoy the
Will
rest
be
of your
turned
day.
into hell
and cheers.
now. Yeah, fucking real quick. Okay. Whoopi turned into whoopsie. Jesus. Right. JP reacts, destroying liberals, thinking with one-liners.
This could have all been prevented if we had switched to paper straws.
He is an expert at
Yep, the
destroying
paper
liberal
straws.
thinking with one-liners, and they're hilarious. Welcome back to the JP Reacts
Oh
channel,
my
my
God,
beautiful freedom-loving
we could have
friend. This is
fixed
where
this
we call out
climate
lies,
change
hypocrisy,
if we
and corruption,
changed
and
the
highlight the
paper
amazing work of other freedom
straws.
fighters, because truth conquers. But to conquer anything, you gotta be strong, and that's why we have ancestral supplements, grass-fed
Excuse me?
beef liver. Personally, I don't like waking up tired, having low energy, low
Stop it.
mood, feeling weak. That's why every day I use grass-fed beef liver, nature's
Stop
multivitamin.
it.
I think it's time to get strong and healthy again. Get your
You be
ancestral
quiet.
supplements, grass-fed beef liver, at ancestralsupplements.com/JPReacts, and for 15% off, use discount code
You be
JPReacts.
quiet.
Oh, this man is hilarious. He is a great thinker, and he says so much with so few words. I absolutely love it. His name, John McEntee. I'm going to tell you something interesting about him, but first, let's take a look at a few clips of him destroying liberal thinking with one-liners.
To anyone I offended in 2024, try to improve so I don't have to do it again in 2025.
Oh, he speaks for me on that one, too. Next one.
He's eating a fucking
Now that
In-N-Out
Trump
burger there,
won,
too.
can we get Aunt Jemima back on the bottle, please?
Man, the liberal thinking, in order to honor black people, we're gonna ban.
Yeah, what
black
happened to
women
Aunt
from being on the
Jemima?
bottle.
She's just
That
gone.
almost makes sense if you refuse to think about it.
To all the celebrities that said they were going to leave the United States if Donald Trump wins, we'll help you pack.
Let's hear some more of liberal thinking being destroyed.
So the party that thinks men can menstruate is having trouble gaining the male vote? Interesting.
Tim, you didn't pull in the male vote.
Tim
I'm
Tampon.
actually a little bit surprised by that.
Ladies, if he doesn't hold the door open for you, it's time to close the door on that relationship.
I like that. A little bit of a middle finger in the face of feminism.
Can you imagine telling a man that his bodily autonomy should be left up to the states? Yeah, it's called the draft. You might not have heard of it because only men have to sign up.
Makes you think. Now, this guy is
True.
fascinating. Not only does he have exquisite one-liners, they're funny, and I think they slice
I mean,
through scar
that's
tissue of liberal
that's
propaganda
when
in the
people were
psyche,
talking
so
a
that
lot,
the
even
light of
before him
truth
bringing
and
that up.
actual thinking can start to be pondered.
But
But
yes,
he's much
that
more
is-
than
that
that.
is
Would
one.
you be surprised to learn this man served in Trump's administration during the first term? Pretty fascinating. So he's been very
he
close
served
to
in first
Trump.
term?
So let's
I had
take
no
a look
idea.
at his Wikipedia page, which of course is going to be slanderous against him, and that's just kind of fun. John David McEntee, he apparently has a birthday, is an American political advisor, entrepreneur, and former football player who served in the first Trump administration. He has been a Trump loyalist during and after the Trump presidency. He began as a body man. I don't know what
Oh,
that means.
I think
And
I
personal
think
aide to the
Trump has
president,
talked
but
about
was
this guy.
dismissed by White House Chief of Staff John Kelly in March 2018 after failing a security clearance background check.
I can't.
Fair enough,
I
which
don't
had
remember
found
if
that was under
he
investigation by the
talked
Department
about
of
him
Homeland Security,
recently.
who isn't, for issues related to
I can't
gambling. So
remember.
I don't know, like guilty, not guilty, sketchy, or just kind of corrupt Homeland Security against Trump, so they're trying to eliminate
Yeah.
his people. I don't know. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, what if the next global health crisis isn't just a pandemic, but is part of a much darker plan? It's probably not a coincidence that Fauci's pardon started on January 1st, 2014. This marks a pivotal moment in history when the Obama administration and his agencies took over Ukraine, and Fauci started spearheading coronavirus researches. You don't
Oh,
have
I
to be
thought he was
crazy
gonna
to
make
see
a
this is strategic
wellness
bioweapons
company
production,
fucking
and it's been
ad.
brewing for a long time. And if this isn't disturbing enough, new findings point to Pfizer's alleged bribe to the FDA to get their bioweapon, disguised as a you-know-what, approved.
Yeah, fake pandemic take planning. They already have an mRNA solution for bird flu. Oh yeah, there was a. Oh, where is it? I don't know if I still have it. Right here. The Pfizer marketed this vaccine as safe for pregnant women.
For use on the masses. I don't know if it's just me, but it sure looks like a global coordinated
Yeah,
effort
don't
for power,
take
control,
it.
and profit. And coincidentally enough, the media has been sounding the alarm on a new bird flu strain that could spread rapidly and wipe out populations. This is why you need the wellness company's
He was doing a
Contagion
wellness
emergency kit, engineered by Dr. Peter McCullough. It includes 5 life-saving medications like ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. It's designed to protect you from the next global threat or globalist threat. Ordering is simple. You fill out an intake form and your kit arrives at your door.
It has
in 2 weeks. So quick, the next thing to get you
ivermectin.
off guard. Stay ready for the unexpected. Get yours by heading to
medicine.
twc.health/JPReact.
Just take
Use
the
code JPReact to
ivermectin,
get
it's good
$48
for
off
you.
plus free
It's
shipping.
horse
Kits are available
medicine
only for
that'll
US
save your
residents, pays the
life.
American. That's twc.health/JPReact. Back to the video. After Kelly was
Sorry.
dismissed in
That's
December
another meme.
2018, Trump rehired McEntee.
Because what was it? It was the Biden administration. They were like, oh, because Joe Rogan was taking ivermectin, and they were like, why are you taking horse medicine, Joe? It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And named him director of the White House Presidential Personnel Office in February 2020. That's pretty amazing. McEntee played a significant role in the... Come on, Wikipedia, give it to us. Okay, here we go. McEntee played a significant role in the attempt to overturn the 2020 election in the lead up to the January 6th Capitol attack.
Oh
Everybody's
no.
pardon, and promoted
Jan
numerous
6.
conspiracy theories about the election.
Oh
So
no,
I'm
not
very
Jan 6.
fascinated,
Oh
like,
no.
This guy
Oh
obviously
god.
knows his stuff from the inside.
It was
out.
the
He
biggest
has served
blow
with
to
President Trump. He's been so
democracy.
close to him, and he's got an exquisite way with words. So before we end, let's take a look at a couple more.
When shit hits the fan, those hillbillies you make fun of really come in handy.
True.
So we send billions and billions of dollars
Where
to
is he?
foreign countries.
Oh, is he in London?
But when a disaster happens at home, American citizens get
Oh, that looks pretty
$700.
good. That looks like some
It's
pretty
Biden
good ice cream.
administration and FEMA for you.
Oh, I
right
kind of
there.
want some
And
ice
that's
cream
the
now.
thing,
Damn it.
Trump is talking about cutting FEMA. They have done such a great job in Maui, North Carolina, Florida. I mean, those people got $700. So how are they possibly going to be able to do any better without FEMA?
Yeah,
And
oh my
lastly,
God.
this one is specifically for the feminists out there. I hope they see it.
It'll be funny to see how quickly feminists embrace the kitchen when World War III breaks out.
Yep, this guy, John McEntee,
That was a
by the
good
way,
one.
you can find him on TikTok if you're ever on it. His TikTok name is Date Right Stuff.
Date
You can
Right
find him there.
Stuff,
I
jeez.
love watching his content. Thank you for watching this with
Thank
me.
you.
Hopefully you've had some
That was
laughs.
pretty-
Let me know what you think
what
of
a
this
funny
guy,
guy.
John McEntee, and the fact that he is an insider with
The
President
people
Trump,
insist that
major
Washington
Trump supporter.
Redskins
That
be
just makes me
renamed
like
and
him even more. But let me
and
know what you
insistent
think, and I
Aunt
look forward
Jemima
to
is
seeing
Oh
you
yeah, that's right.
in
They were the
next
same
video.
ones. Yeah,
Until
that's right.
then, stay free.
Refuse to call it the Gulf of America. That Elgar is a great band. They wrote a song called "Blow Up the Outside World." This one.
Now, relax and watch.
Hold on. Okay, that's all I can play. Actually, I'm probably still gonna get fucking fucked over on YouTube if I put this VOD up. Oh well. Anyways. JP reacts. Let us do this one.
Was arrested for allegedly ending that healthcare CEO's life.
Luigi. Hey, it's a Luigi.
CNN's favorite useful idiot, Caitlin Collins, took to Twitter to post a link to his legal defense team, which included a link to his
Oh,
fundraiser.
yeah, don't do this. It's gonna look shady as fuck. Don't do this. Don't be this retard. That's a good one too.
Which she quickly deleted. And as the New York Post called her out, reporting she promoted Luigi's defense
Yep.
fund, Collins replied, "That's not true. She just posted that his attorneys created a website, and it's newsworthy. In no way did she share a fundraising link for him. But when you go on that website, right at the
Yep.
top in bold letters, there's a link to contribute to his legal defense fund, where
Yep.
you're literally 2 clicks away from getting to his fundraiser that apparently has
Jesus.
raised nearly $500,000 for
Yeah,
a guy
because
charged
you
with
got
murder.
crazy
This
people
is just
wanting
a
him to
perfect
win.
encapsulation of what the mainstream
Even though
corporate
he's
media
probably
has
not
become.
gonna win.
Caitlin posts a link that
Well,
links
then
to his
again, he
defense
may win.
fund,
Who knows?
so she boldly states, "I technically didn't link to that website. I was simply reporting the news." No. She's just playing that stupid game where
Yeah.
e-girls hide the link to their paid-for adult content
True.
behind a Linktree or Bitly address in
True.
their profile. We all know exactly what you're doing, and putting
True.
it behind one extra click
I mean, just
isn't
look at
fooling
Twitch.
anybody.
You got a
But
bunch
again,
of OnlyFans
that's the
models
modern-day news
hiding their
media in a
links.
nutshell. Lazily hiding their lies behind the headlines.
Or you got a bunch
because
of
they think you're too
VTubers who
stupid
are
to
hiding their
notice.
links
But now
to
people are
the
calling for her to
industry.
be booted from White House press conferences, as her posting this link actually makes her a security risk. But we may not have to wait for that, as the new White House might revoke her access.
I mean, they're
over
not
her
hiding it, but
stupidity
they're
alone.
like
Which White House official
obfuscating
made the
it
decision
into
to
like
bar
other
the AP
places.
reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just
You-
set the
you
record
gotta
straight.
dig.
It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus. Many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions.
I'm not
We
part of
reserve
the
the right
cool club?
to decide who gets to go into the
Aw.
Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is.
I love the idea of them reminding the press that their access is a privilege, where the public deserves to know what's really going on in DC, so they shouldn't be wasting their time pushing hoaxes and fishing for snarky sound bites.
Yeah,
they're free
much.
to press the administration over their policies,
they're always
but
gonna
not
do
blatantly
the
report
fucking
lies,
dumb
especially
game.
these same lies repeatedly. And Trump's entire
I mean, it's
administration
the same
echoes
shit
his
every time,
sentiments
right?
regarding the press.
They don't
As
stop.
leftist journalists cry over Trump limiting the AP's access, saying it goes against free speech, to which Vice President J.D. Vance replies, "There's a difference between giving reporters access to press briefing rooms and jailing people for dissenting views. They're not saying they're gonna shut down the AP, they're simply saying they don't have to give them a seat at the table. As the AP is still free to say whatever they want, we just don't want to waste our time with their nonsense." As let's really listen to CNN's Caitlin Collins.
Yeah, it's like, what? Right? Why would you want these news outlets to come in to ask their dumb questions, and then they're just going to spin a story where you're just the villain? It's like, what the fuck? You're so annoying.
And tonight there are warnings that the U.S. is dangerously.
You didn't do it with Biden, but you do it with Trump. You put Biden on a pedestal, but you vilify Trump. Like, what kind of game are we playing at here?
Close to a constitutional crisis. Now, the first shoe on this dropped
You
when a federal
fucking
judge
commies.
today said the White House is defying.
Are you funded by China? Who's funding you? Are you guys funded by Russia, CNN? Russia.
his order to unfreeze.
You got the Russian hoax going on. You got the China propaganda machine going on, you know?
Of ignoring a court ruling. And in a separate case today, federal employees here in Washington told a judge that the administration was defying another order by not reinstating workers who had been put on leave. Now, this all has prominent Democrats and many of the nation's top constitutional scholars declaring that the U.S. is on the brink of a reckoning.
Which is basically the same thing we would hear from any of the left-wing corporate news outlets.
Close to a constitutional crisis.
Is a constitutional
crisis.
Constitutional
that word.
crisis.
Constitutional crisis.
A
Yes.
constitutional crisis.
Sure.
Constitutional crisis. Constitutional crisis. In a constitutional crisis. Constitutional crisis. Constitutional crisis. The constitutional crisis.
Constitutional crisis.
Constitutional crisis.
Constitutional crisis.
Constitutional crisis.
We have a constitutional crisis.
As a constitutional crisis in this
constitutional crisis. This is a constitutional crisis.
Nobody
Holy
wants to
crap,
tell
that was a
them
lot
this.
of people
We
saying
just
it.
think we shouldn't be using federal funds to prop up news outlets that do nothing.
Yeah, I don't know why we're using any of those funds to help news outlets. They don't deserve it. If anything, why didn't it go to, the starving veterans or homeless veterans? Right? Or getting fucking goddamn, the cracked out homeless people off the goddamn streets and get them some help or something. I don't know. Deal with these fucking people who are ruining your own goddamn country. Right? I don't know. Fix the goddamn infrastructure with that goddamn money. Right? I don't know. If you want to help our allies with it, make sure it goes to the infrastructure or something. Right? Or helping, I don't know, fund education in some sense. Not the dumb education of DEI and all that crap.
Nothing but parrot liberal talking points, which are sometimes
Make sure it's
literally nothing,
doing a good
as the story
job.
of President Trump placing his mugshot
Not being
in the Oval Office
wasted.
went out. And Caitlin Collins made a
Fucking
video reacting
corrupted
to the story,
shitheads.
but actually listen to what she's saying.
Not only have we never had a U.S. president with a mugshot I'm not sure we've ever had a mugshot hanging outside of the Oval Office before. But
It's
that is where
great.
President Trump has placed his from when he was indicted in Fulton County, Georgia for his efforts to overturn the election. We learned a few days ago he is a framed
Dude, this
cover of the
lady,
New York Post.
dude, this lady is so fucking miserable. Holy shit.
Georgia for his efforts to overturn the election. We learned a few days ago he is a framed cover of the New York Post with his mugshot just outside the Oval Office in what is known as the Outer Oval. Now, we discovered this when he was greeting the Indian Prime Minister. They were seated in chairs in front of the fireplace in the Oval.
What's wrong with it?
But just over the shoulder of his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, you could see the president's mugshot there
Okay,
as he had
so?
it framed. His aide and person who is his social media guru, really, Dan Scavino, posted a video of it saying, "Happy Valentine's Day" from the beautiful Oval Office. This has really become a rallying cry that Trump has used on the campaign trail.
What? Rallying cry? What do you mean?
Put it on merch and sold it, featuring his
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. Yeah.
mugshot.
Yeah, I gotta get me one of those shirts. Fuck.
Now it has a home outside the Oval
Oh
Office.
shit.
It took her.
Yeah, I gotta get me the murdered out MAGA hat, and then one of those Trump shirts.
60 seconds to give you 6 seconds of
God
information.
damn
Trump
it.
put a mugshot up to remind everybody what they did to him. I
It's
didn't
such
need
a
to know what it
good.
was.
It's so fucking good.
Get a slot
I
on
can't
CNN,
complain.
or even need the access of a White House correspondent to share that information with you. So cutting
Trump
off
is
her
acting like
access
a
to the press
true
room
goddamn
isn't limiting
streamer.
free speech. It's simply just moving on from ineffective journalists. Because
Mr.
let's just take
Mr.
me
President
right now.
knows how to make
I'm almost
content.
illiterate, but when it comes to this story, if you listen to only CNN's host, you'd believe she absolutely didn't post a link to Luigi's fundraiser to defend him from murder charges. But if you watch some bootleg channel called Decoy Voice, you'd know she posted a website that right at the top had a link to that fundraiser. So people have legitimate reasons for her removal from the White House press room.
Oh,
all
yeah.
while concisely written in haiku in a YouTube video. Which
Yeah, I mean,
sadly,
she did
is
do that.
infinitely more useful to the American
No ifs, ands, or
public than
buts.
letting Caitlin Collins ask more
You're just
leading
trying to
questions,
lie and say,
ignoring the
"Oh no, it
response,
didn't
just to
happen.
come
I
back
didn't
to her
post it,"
viewers
even though you
repeating
fucking pressed the goddamn
"constitutional
button.
crisis," or
Uh-huh.
"danger to democracy," or whatever new bumper sticker slogan the left is telling them to parrot. So
Yeah.
if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, and maybe
Thank
you'll want to
you.
binge those videos about everything you needed to know about everything you didn't know about.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thanks for the information and just keeping logs. She's not a journalist or a reporter. She's an activist. Correct. And she's a bad one at that. The framed mugshot in the White House is the hugest flex. It is. Remember when CNN used to be a respected news outlet? Neither does Pepperidge Farms. Constitutional crisis, not knowing who was running the country for 4 years. Yeah. Seriously. Man, they can't stand it. They're flipping out and throwing whatever nonsense they can out there. They can thank themselves for the mugshot also. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, also, yeah, it's... that mugshot is because of the fucking Democrats. You guys let him earn that. Right? You caused this. It was you guys. It's all your guys' goddamn fault. You guys put this guy up so hard that he just keeps winning. He just keeps fucking winning, and you guys keep crying. Oh my god. Like, you guys crying about him constantly just makes him win every fucking time. There's a special place in Hades for lying dishonest shrews like her. averting the male gaze. Calls the Gulf of America, then hits the Ziz and leaves. Refuses to elaborate. Yeah, no. They all sound like a parrot with a, it's a constitutional crisis from individuals that have never read the Constitution? Yeah, basically. Alright. There you go. Decoy voice. That was yesterday. Oh, yeah. Apparently, fucking, yeah. Yeah, Destiny got fucking... Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. He got fucking served with papers. Deserved. Fucking deserved. That's his own making, by the way. Usually, the streamers who get fucking these types of things, yeah, that's their own fucking making. They caused that themselves. Fucking retards. And if you happen to get lucky and don't get caught up because they didn't have enough evidence on you, ooh, you got lucky there too. People are gonna be side-eyeing you all the time though. Good luck with that one. No one's gonna let you live that shit down. I mean, they might let it go for some time, but they'll bring it up all the fucking time. Let's see. What do you got here? Let's go for the end of Newsom's reign in California. Did you get fucked over? Please tell me he got pegged by the FBI. Please.
Copperjack TV. So a lot of people have been waiting for this for a very long time, and it's finally here. We are at the end of the Newsom administration in the state of California.
Yes.
And we have some news that just broke this week that we need to talk about today, so stay tuned.
Is it
now,
good news?
Before we get too deep into what's going on here, this video is proudly sponsored by Aura. Listen, big companies with poor security are getting hacked every single day, and your personal information is being sold on the dark web. So spammers, scammers, and identity thieves can target you. I mean, just Google yourself. You might be surprised how much information is already available for anyone to see. Well, instead of just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, get Aura. Aura monitors your
Not only that, but you always got new... Right, not only that, but you always got new weirdos trying to look up your name or trying to put in information on you and trying to act like you, right? So, yeah, you gotta get rid of all that shit.
To alert you about potential identity theft, and every adult on the account up to 5 gets $1 million in identity theft coverage. That's a total of $5 million per one account. But Aura doesn't stop there. With Data Broker Opt-out, Aura will help you remove your personal identifying information from data brokers and people's search sites that sell your information to scammers and thieves. Aura also has 24/7 US-based support, a secure password manager, antivirus, VPN, and more. And you get all that on one app at one affordable price. Now, I personally recommend Aura, and you really have nothing to lose because you can try Aura free for 2 weeks. Check out the link down below or click the link in the description box to try Aura for yourself. Okay, so let's go and talk about what's going on here. So based on the number of articles that I've seen on this specific topic, I am surprised to find out how many people in the state of California were not aware that this is Newsom's last term and his term is about to be up. And it could not come soon enough. This guy has done a lot of damage to the
he did a lot of fucking horrendous shit.
As lieutenant governor under Jerry
Brown,
he
a lot,
quite a bit of
right?
damage to the Second Amendment. But as governor of the state
in California, he's allowed criminals to run free and fuck people over, right? He's allowed these basically a lot of mom and pop shops and companies just leave California or close down shop because they couldn't stay open. Yeah, and then you had the COVID lockdowns too. He was a commie in that shit too.
He has done everything in his power.
The dude was a full-on goddamn authoritarian commie piece of shit who needs a fucking pike in his goddamn face. Fuck that guy.
As a matter of fact,
he's such a piece of shit.
28th Amendment, the amendment that he wanted added to the United States Constitution that would essentially invalidate and eliminate the Second Amendment rights for everybody in our country. So he's wanted to expand on that as governor of California as well. So with that being said, election season has officially begun in
Yeah,
the state
the dude's
of
a
California,
full-on
and there's
commie.
one particular
He wants to
person
take us to
who threw
goddamn
his hat in
China.
the ring just
Yeah, have you
this
seen
week.
that guy? He was sucking Xi's dick. Motherfucker was sucking Xi's dick. He's probably sucking him in the back room right now.
That has caused me to get questions basically all over the internet and even in my personal email. Actually, as a matter of fact, I even got a text about it this morning. So we are going to talk about Sheriff Chad Bianco, who just announced that he's going to be running for the governor of the state of California.
Yeah, Chad
and
Bianco
where
was
he
running.
stands on the Second Amendment.
I'm here to announce our campaign to be the next governor of California.
Now, I've been doing my research on this guy long before he ever threw his hat in the ring for governor, and that's because even years ago, he'd said some stuff that I thought was very pro-Second Amendment.
Yeah,
and that made him
I've
stand
noticed
out
him
amongst
say
other
some
sheriffs in the state of California,
things too,
because
but
one
it's
thing you
like
have to remember
I don't
is
know
that
him
prior
that
to
well,
the
so
Bruin
it's like
decision, there was still a good cause requirement in the state of California, but the state left it up to each individual sheriff as to how they would apply that. So you could go to one county, let's say Ventura County, and get a permit fairly easy. But you would go to LA County and it was nearly impossible. You had to show
Yeah,
an
in LA,
imminent threat.
you cannot. In LA, you have to be very, very high up the chain to have a CCW. They will not allow anyone in LA to have CCWs, which is kind of fucked up. I hate that shit. I want to fucking stab all these people.
Better imminent danger in order
Fuck
to
you.
even go through the application process, and nobody was able to do it. The only people that were able to do it in a lot of counties were people who were retired judges, retired law enforcement, stuff like that.
Your status has to
weren't
be high
issuing
enough
it to
for
just
you
standard
to
citizens.
have that kind
So
of
a few
fucking
years ago, when I saw him
CCW.
on CRPA did an interview with him. Rick
Kinda
Travis
fucked.
was the host of that interview.
Really
I was
against the
really
Second
impressed with
Amendment.
A lot of stuff that he said. He said that in
Shall not be
Riverside,
infringed,
which is
by the way.
county
Fuck
that
you.
He's the sheriff of, and I got to tell you, Riverside's a pretty big county. There are millions of people that live there. He said that he wanted to clean things up when it came to CCWs. He felt that people have a right to carry to defend themselves, and he said it on multiple occasions in multiple interviews, including on Gun Owners Radio, that he believes that people have a right to carry and to defend themselves. And the wait times, which were nearly 2 years in Riverside, ended up dropping to nearly, they dropped to like 30 to 60 days after he took over. So it went from something like 3,000 permits total that were issued in Riverside County to, I believe it was a year ago, there was something more than 40,000.
I will be
that
getting
were
my
issued. So it went from
CCW if
3
I can.
to 40 in just
immediately.
a short amount of time that he was the sheriff of Riverside County. So not only did he say that he supported it, but he actually showed that with action, which I thought was great. I mean, that's absolutely incredible if you're talking about, again,
If I
the
can.
state of California.
I don't
where
know
you don't
if
typically
these
get
fuckers
that,
are gonna allow me.
throughout the state.
This isn't the same thing as getting a
Especially
custom
with
card.
the
There's a
work
lot of
that
people
I
trying
kind of
to
want to
make it on
do,
the
but
opposition line.
yeah, we'll see.
Has there been like, oh, I wished I wouldn't have done that because people went off the deep end?
No, there hasn't. And if there had been across the country, you don't think we would know about it?
Right.
So all we get is the misinformation that oh my gosh, everybody's going to shoot it. It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
That isn't the case. And it never will be the case. Law-abiding citizens want the ability to carry guns. They're law-abiding citizens, and that's all we give them to. A criminal is not going to come ask the sheriff for permission to carry a gun. They just do it anyway.
So
Yeah,
he says
exactly.
he believes in the Second Amendment. He says he believes in your right to carry to defend yourself. He believes in at least reciprocity. And he says that he took an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States, and that he believes in our founding documents wholeheartedly, which is great. That's a breath of fresh air in
Yeah,
the state of
thankfully.
California. You don't hear that very often.
Yeah, you don't.
However,
especially
I still
coming
see
from
some
a
pretty
goddamn
major
police
holes here.
officer.
There's some things, some questions that I've been trying to answer for years and have not been able to do so. So if you guys know anything more than I do, by all means, this is where the comment section comes in. Let me know about it. I'd like to see it. If you have any quotes or anything like
that's
that,
good.
it'd
Well,
be great.
hopefully
Leave
he's
those
not gonna
quotes
fuck
down below.
anyone
So
over.
my first issue is that when I go to his official election website and I take a look at his platform, what he's running on, I don't see the Second Amendment listed on there at all. And
Yeah, and I think that's to. I think they want to hide that too because they don't want to. They don't want to make that a focus since it's a very controversial topic, even though it shouldn't. or a polarizing one.
And that's a problem for me. I want to see.
Yeah,
where
that
you
is a
stand
problem
on
for
it.
me.
What's your official
Yeah, I
statement
do
on
want
it?
to see,
And I want to
right?
see that
I
on-
want to see all politicians' stances on what fucking right, all the amendments. I want to see all their stances, right? If they're for or against.
your
That's all I
official
want to know.
election website, so that when people go to see what you're all about,
Yeah.
they're gonna see that this is what you stand for.
Exactly.
And by you omitting that, you're just not adding it to that website. That causes a problem for me.
Yeah.
I want to see that
Exactly.
on your website. Now, the other thing is, while it's great that I think that he stands for Kerry and he's been able to improve the permitting process in California and stuff like that, or in Riverside, where does he stand on the myriad of other issues that are infringing
Yeah,
on
the
people's
gun
Second
control
Amendment rights in that
issues.
state? I mean, we could go over it all
Like
day. There's
handgun
over 100
roster
different
list
gun
and all
control
that
laws in the state of
shit. Red
California.
flag laws.
Where does he
Fucking
stand on the
get rid
assault
of all
weapons
this
ban? Where does he
bullshit.
stand on the 10-day waiting period?
It's
Where does
infringements.
he stand on the roster? I mean,
They're
where does
all
he stand on any
infringements,
of these
by the way.
other issues that have been
Having
plaguing
you
people in
having you pay taxes, or having you go through certain modifications on a firearm because they don't like the specific features. Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here. I can just put my goddamn fist through your skull, right? Or I could just rip out your fucking eyes with my goddamn hand. I mean, I don't have to use a gun, but if you want me to be more brutal, I can be.
California for so long. Again,
I'll
Kerry
take
is
my
just a
fucking
small
glasses and shove it down
fraction
your
of the
fucking
problems
throat,
that
you
people in
pieces of
California
shit.
have been facing,
Fuck you
and
people.
you have to address the other problems that
Fucking
people
trying
are
to
facing
fucking
as
take
well,
away
not
my
just
rights.
that one. While that one is great, we really need to expand on this.
Want to take
and I would
my
like to
take
hear
away my
where he
rights? How about I
stands on it.
take
Again,
away some of
if
your
you guys
rights,
know
you
better than I do. If
fucks?
you've seen anything out there, please, by all means, let me know, because I have not been able to find it. So we all know that the left controls a vast majority of the state of California. As a matter of fact, they have a super majority in the California state legislature. So they're not going to be very helpful to an even moderately conservative incoming governor. So what are you going to do once you inherit a state that has as many infringements on the books as California does?
Yeah.
Are you going to at least advocate for having these changes? Are you going to talk to the DOJ and see what you can do there? There's a lot that you could do even without that support. Some things that you could do unilaterally, some things you're going to have to advocate for, but we need to know about these things. Again, while I'm excited with all the things that you've said, and I think that you have been a breath of fresh air to the state of California, and you've been really good to the people of Riverside, at least from what I see, I still have too many questions at this point.
Yeah.
So do I think that he is
It's
pro
still
2A?
too early
Yes.
to
I don't
tell.
think he would have made those changes. I don't think he
Still
would
too
have
early.
brought the wait times down from 2 years to 30 days. I don't think that many more people in Riverside County would have permits if he wasn't pro 2A. So as for that, yes, I think he's pro 2A. But I still have too many questions to
Yeah.
say for sure. There needs to be more that needs to be answered. And, hey, maybe we get lucky enough when one day he'd be willing to come on. So anyway, I wanted to let you guys know about that. Wanted to talk to you guys about it today and answer the questions that I've been getting about it as well. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like,
For
subscribe.
sure.
You guys have a great
Thank you. Yeah, and fucking yeah, we don't. Oh God, if Kamala, please don't get Kamala back for governor. Oh God, no. I hope she won't fucking run for governor of California. Please no. Anything but that. I might actually fucking drink some bleach, dude. Fuck me. Oh my God, don't do it. I might off myself if that happens. Oh God. That would be the fucking worst thing. Have Kamala run for governor as well. Ugh. Alright, let's see, what's this? Terrible day for weirdo anime tourists. Uh-oh, what happened to Animu? What happens to the Animus?
People hate these fake fans, these anime tourists. If you don't know what this means, basically, someone who fairly recently got into anime, maybe over lockdown, but specifically comes to the
Over lockdown? Oh, over COVID. I was
anime
like, huh?
community and starts complaining about everything being problematic and whining about blah, blah, blah. This is offensive and this needs to be changed. And, you know, all this super really lame
Oh, so like dick tone?
stuff. Basically, imagine a combination of a Twitter
I don't mean
pop
to be mean
and a
to
new
tech
anime
tone, but
fan.
yeah, I mean,
That's essentially what
like
creates
some of these
a
people
tourist.
have said some
So yeah,
fucking
tourist does not
stupid
simply
shit
mean that
sometimes, so
you're new
it's
to
like,
watching anime. It's that combination of stuff essentially.
yeah, they put themselves in that
So for the last
situation,
24
not my
hours or
fault.
so, the tourists have been getting absolutely destroyed by the real fans over on
I've
Twitter.
said some
With all
dumb
that
things
context,
too, calling
let's take a
people
look. So it essentially
pedos
all started
and
with people
shit.
getting offended at the word waifu, which is obviously a really stupid thing to get offended by. Rock Solid making a tweet in response to one of the offended people saying COVID has been a disaster on
I mean, some of these people are pedos, like this one. I'm sorry. Otaku as a concept is holding anime as a medium back. COVID has been a disaster on otaku culture.
otaku culture, which goes back to what I said earlier about the proliferation of these tourists occurring around the lockdown period, which also reminds me of back then when Tectone would make all these tweets about like Genshin waifus.
Hey, I mean, you hide your face using a fucking anime character, I'm gonna call you some very heinous shit. Best be
like
ready.
Infinite seething in responses, people getting so mad at him for using that term. Anyways, Rock Solid then got this response that talks about wanting to eliminate the word otaku as a concept, saying that it's holding anime back. And the responses are filled with people saying that, no, actually tourists
Jesus,
should be
what the
eliminated from
fuck
the anime
is all
community.
this?
It's the tourists that are really holding things back. So I
Everyone
guess
hiding their
tourists are not only
identity because
offended
they're
at
all
the word
pieces of
waifu,
shit.
but also otaku. Septonic then making this tweet with over 10,000 likes that reads, they got really mad at me for this one, reposting this image that says, how to spot an anime tourist. Only watches Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball, and other common anime shows. Only likes anime because it's trendy. Will join the anime fandom for the
Right,
sake
they
of
speak
policing
all
others
that
in the
shit
community.
while hiding
Berates you for
their
liking something they don't
fucking
like.
hiding their
Thinks
names
fan
and
service
shit.
is sexist and drawings equate to real life issues. Hey, you know what? It sounds like they would get along great with those weirdo Twitter feminists that we were talking about yesterday. The ones who were all offended over that
Oh yeah,
Japanese anime style
that
ad.
yeah,
And then-
that was weird. I don't understand why people got offended by the ads. There was a guy advertisement for what, ramen, and there was a dude advertisement for ramen. They got mad at it for some
offended over
reason.
that Japanese anime style ad. And then there was this tweet with over 48,000 likes talking about all of this recent tourist stuff that says, anime fans are seen as weirdos, make our own subculture for ourselves.
Anime fans seen as weirdos. I mean, I think it's cause you got the overweight, right? Some of those overweight people who are kind of like neats, right? You got the neat issue, right? And some of those anime fans are neats, so it's like, I mean, calling them as a whole weirdos, that's kind of fucked up. Yeah, I know, but I mean, what can you do? People want to be dickheads, right? Make our own subculture for ourselves. Well, I mean, you can kind of say that making your own subculture, right? Music made their own subculture. Paint art, right? People who paint or make right pictures, they made their own subculture. People in the movie industry make their own right? Everybody makes their own subculture in a way.
Normies during pandemic realize anime is actually amazing, joins our culture, tries to kick us out of our own spaces we built when they kicked us out of the normie space to begin with. Where do we go? I would humbly make a correction to the last point there, because anime fans were never trying to like take anime.
Yeah, anime fans were. Yeah, look, no one was trying to kick anyone out. If you want to enjoy the medium, enjoy the medium. Just don't be a fucking weirdo about it.
into the normie space to begin with. It's basically like anime fans made their own space, and then the normies tried to invade it, which, to be fair, the rest of the tweet does talk about. As for the question, where do we go? Nowhere. The actual fans are still winning because they get to enjoy the medium more thoroughly. All these fake people are getting offended by everything and crying left and right.
Yeah, look, it's not gonna hurt you. It's not the devil, okay? It's not like music where a lot of people vilified music. Oh, that's the right, especially with like rock music and right certain music. They were like, "Oh, that's the devil's music," right? Because of fucking religious idiots. I mean, just stop. Just stop being retarded. Or else I'm just gonna call you a fucking fascist.
The tourist essentially has a losing proposition to begin with because
Who
all
deserve
they
the
do
pike.
is look for the next thing to get offended by and then make some sort of tweet desperately trying to get clout. And obviously that doesn't really amount to much of anything at all. They've pretty much already lost, in other words. We can see another example of this in the Western localizer stuff that's been going on, with more and more of these weirdos getting replaced by Japanese companies who prefer using machine translations over the localizers. So yeah, this was just a quick discussion on all this tourist stuff. I definitely think the anime community was better before it got so mainstream, and the main
Yeah, I think, when was it? I think after, what? After probably 20... When did it start? I think when VTubers started coming into the space, I think that's when it started getting a little rough. Right, because they were then affiliating VTubers with the anime and whatnot. It was like,
mainstream stuff has brought a
Who
lot
knows?
of terrible
Maybe.
things for the community, such as all these tourist posers and even like corrupt Western companies trying to leech money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not only. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. It's the payment processing motherfuckers too, right? The banking system and whatnot. Fucking trying to quash the medium. All right.
Industry. But despite that, I also think that the real fans are still winning. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing.
Yeah, it's weird because they allow very risque movies to that are 18 plus, and they allow payment processing plans to do okay with all that shit, right? Or allow people to use their credit cards on goddamn porn. But when you use it on anime medium, oh no, that's way too much. Or when you try to buy firearms, now you're getting tagged as a fucking as a designated crazy person or a murderer because you bought weapons. Like, fuck off. Oh, that was Hirohei. Oh, I forgot to fucking. I'll look back. I'm gonna have to look back through the VODs and
Falling
fucking
apart. Social cohesion is completely
grab all the
disappeared.
names again.
Homelessness has reached crisis levels, and now wildfires have devastated a massive part of the city. But as many are aware, LA should have been well prepared for these fires. It's
Yes,
the second
should have
largest city in the US and one of the richest in the world. The city was famous for being a beacon of culture and hope. And these fires come on a yearly basis just like clockwork. That's why all the way back in the 70s, the city built massive reservoirs and strengthened itself against destruction for decades. But today, with LA richer than it's ever been and with more resources than it's ever had access to, these exact defenses failed. In some cases, the water supply lasted for less than a day. Fire hydrants quickly ran dry, and the reservoirs specifically built to save
Everyone
the
was
city.
using it. They were using so much at the same time that it just dried up so quick. And then we already had like nothing in the reservoir, which was great too. And then you had some idiot fucking get a drone outside and fuck up one of the scooper planes. Yeah, that really fucked operations up a lot. Yeah, never bring out a fucking drone in the middle of people like scooping water and shit. Because those planes are very easy to break if you fuck around. Don't do that.
Empty for over a year. Things just don't add up. Corruption and endless red tape left the city unprepared and robbed tens of thousands of their homes. Meanwhile, insurance industry lobbyists lobbied the politicians. They blocked laws that would expose their corruption while selling out the people they were meant to represent.
Oh yeah, like
while the media
climate change induced that dude. All the climate change shit, fuck off with that. Everyone who keeps telling you climate change did it, tell them to fucking eat dick. Or to fucking eat a pike. Jeez. Because they're a bunch of lying fuckheads.
ostensibly blamed climate change, the catastrophic fall of Los Angeles was about greed and human error that doomed people's
And then
homes.
ask them
Now
where
the
they
scorched
found
land
that
is being bought up for
information.
pennies on the
If
dollar
they
in a
tell you
literal
they
fire
heard
sale.
it by
The insurance
Democrats,
companies
tell
have
them
also been allowed to
tell
pass
them
the
to
cost
jump
of
off a
rebuilding
cliff.
back onto the people. So let's dive straight in and expose this truly corrupt system that's both causing and profiting LA's fiery collapse, and why the planned destruction of LA is deliberate. You see, imagine you're running an insurance company and you want to make money out of LA. On the one hand, it's literally prime real estate. With one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world, there's billions to be made. But it isn't as simple as it first seems. On the other hand though, the area goes through a fire season every single year, and the repairs cost billions every single time. So how do you make as much money as possible from this? Well, step one is to raise the rates as high as you can. Even just in the past year, insurance companies operating in California have been raising their rates to record levels. In the wake of the fires, State Farm, the largest
Year
insurance
by year,
company
by
in
the
the
way.
US, asked to raise the rates this year by an average of 22%. The figure also includes a staggering 38% increase for renters. For many people, it's just too much. One Californian homeowner interviewed by CBS said that the bill went up by nearly $2,000 in just a single year, up 87% from the roughly $3,000 they paid the year before. For his family, it means postponing their vacations and tightening the budget everywhere else to even hope to afford it. In a country where nearly 60% of people have less than $1,000 in savings, this is just not feasible. But this isn't anything new. If you really want to make money, then you need to raise the rates every year, and that's what California's insurance companies have been doing. In 2020 alone, rate hikes by insurance companies in
Well, I
California
mean, when you
ranged from
have a
around
lot of
7%
people in
to over
California, oh well, I think they're getting the numbers of the average the average person living paycheck to paycheck in California. I think that's the numbers they're using, because there's no other way around that. Because you obviously have a disparity in terms of the very rich people who can just get by easily,
40% in some cases.
or
This
like
conspiracy to
the
extract
millionaires, right? Those guys can get by easily. They don't give a fuck. Right? It's the people living paycheck to paycheck who are getting screwed the most.
profit poisons the entire city. Rising insurance prices have a knock-on effect on the housing market, for example. First, they add far more to mortgages, making it much harder for existing homeowners to afford a life in LA.
Mortgages.
This also makes it much harder for new buyers
when
to
you're
get
still
into the
paying
market.
off your house,
When you only get offers
or
for
you're
insurance
renting,
policies
right?
that cost thousands or tens of thousands.
I mean, actually,
every
rent
year, it puts
in that
previously
sense, renting
affordable
is
homes out of
probably a
reach.
little
Every
bit
time the
cheaper
rates go
since
up,
you don't have
more
to pay
people
for a
lose their
mortgage
homes
on a
and
house
face
and shit like that.
destitution. Of the thousands of residents living in 10 cities
Right,
across
until you
LA,
fully
tons
pay
would
off
live
the
much better
house.
lives if they hadn't been pushed out of the system. So if you're an insurance company, you've been raising rates as high as you can, but you still have a few problems. First, you have to pay out literally billions when there's a particularly bad fire. The whole goal for an insurance company is to pay out as few policies as possible while raking in as much in premiums as you can. And because of this, people do start getting angry when they can't access a basic necessity like home insurance. One homeowner from the Pacific Palisades area, called Francis Bichetti, saw his premiums go from $4,500 to $18,000 in 2024.
like triple
With no way to fight the
or
decision, no
quadruple,
way to
man.
make his case heard, he was all out of options. He couldn't afford it and had to cancel, leaving him to try and protect his house against fires all on his own. When the fire did eventually come and destroy his home a year later, he of course had no financial protection. Meanwhile, they solely blame the wildfires and climate change for the massive price increases in their policies. Despite this though, the company increased their net worth by $3.5 billion in 2023. So where is all of this money coming from if it's apparently so expensive to insure Los Angeles? Well, the money that goes towards rebuilding people's lives could buy you a new yacht instead. If you're the CEO of an insurance company or one of their major shareholders, we all know what you'd prefer. So how do you keep on raking these huge profits when there are so many legitimate claims in the aftermath of a fire? Well, this is why step 2 is pretty simple on the face of it. You have to abandon as many customers as possible who might actually make a claim, and they've been hard at work on this. What would happen if you threw your vape all the way from a giant skyscraper? Well, you might want to find out once you've tried Fume. Fume is an award-winning...
I'm pretty sure you'd kill that person, because that's a fucking... Well, if it was like one of those box modded vapes, yeah, you're killing someone with that thing. That thing is heavy. This one you're probably not gonna hurt. It's probably not gonna do anything. But still don't do it.
and it's safe to use anywhere. And Fume's design is also about more than just flavor. It's an awesome fidget with magnets and clicks to help calm anxiety. And you'll love how Fume feels with its premium quality sleek design, which is perfect for taking with you anywhere on the go. And you see, flavored air isn't like vaping. With vaping's compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from, like crisp mint, orange, vanilla. All of this flavored air with no electronics, no vapor, or combustion. It's a perfect alternative to vaping and quitting vaping, as you can literally use this anywhere with no nicotine and no vapor, meaning it's completely not addictive. Personally, my favorite flavor is the crisp mint one. It's just so refreshing and satisfying without any of the harmful effects you'd associate with other habits. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. So try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using my code MOON, you'll get a free Fume topper, a really awesome accessory to level up your experience. So go to tryfume.com/moon or scan the QR code.
I will never try this out because I think you're a fucking pussy. If you... I'm kidding. Oh, I don't want to try nicotine. Oh, I don't want to try weed. Oh, I don't want to try I'm just being an asshole. I'm kidding.
Code on screen now. Between 2020 and 2022, California's insurance companies declined to renew 2.8 million policies according to CNN. Over 500,000 of them were in LA. People who have had the same insurance policy for decades often find out that it's suddenly been cancelled just before the fire season. One couple in their 90s had their insurance cancelled after living in their property for 75 years, and an interview with their daughter went viral.
They're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance.
But you can't just cancel random policies. To make the most money, you need to figure out a cold calculating system to identify the most expensive policies to pay out, which homes are more at risk, and which cancellations will make you the most money in the long run. Before, this was an expensive process requiring boots on the ground, and it was dependent on cold calculating insurance agents who got to decide who should lose their protection. Today, you can just use AI to automate the entire thing, and suddenly it's a very simple process, because the more data you have, the better. They can then use this information about previous fires, how the winds in California spread them, and which policies are the most expensive to pay out compared to the rates you charge. On the face of it, you can see how these factors would lead to lots of affordable single-family homes getting their policies cancelled, which is exactly what happened. Using algorithms and AI can make this process much smoother and can make you far more money. We can't actually confirm this is what they're using it for, but that's only because insurance lobbyists have blocked laws which could expose how they use AI. The bill was actually called SB 1229.
Well, I mean, they are definitely using AI, right? All of these companies have to be using AI to a certain extent. Because if they're not, they're really severely hurting themselves in their efficiency processing, right? In terms of just getting work done. They're fucking... Like, the efficiency of getting things done with AI is tremendous. Especially when you have, like, a system, like, dealing with insurance and all that shit. When you need to pull out certain certain information and all that shit. Like, yeah, you kind of need that.
And it stated that insurance companies would have to, quote, disclose to an applicant or insured when it used...
I mean, they should have, like, a whole database, right? A large language model, whole database system, right? They should have these systems. Because they're heavily fucking computerized, right?
artificial intelligence to make decisions on, or make decisions that affect applications and claims review. The insurance companies didn't like this, and they expressed it through one of their political lobbyist groups, the Personal Insurance Federation of California. This organization is shady to the core, blanketing its website with stock photos of happy people sitting in front of things they insure. Meanwhile, they're using their 1,500 strong workforce to directly interfere with people's best interests. This was their response to Bill SB 1229, as televised in a local news investigation into the industry.
SB 1229 would have required insurance companies to disclose to an applicant if AI was used to make decisions on their application or claim. It failed.
It's unsurprising that politicians would listen more to these lobbyists than the needs of their people. The lobbyists are part of the system bankrolling their elections. The state senator was one of the Democratic senators who voted against this bill, and when questioned about it by local news, she gave this telling response.
Consumer advocates argue this bill aimed to increase transparency. Do you agree that was the intention?
You know, you're asking me to remember what happened in a hearing that was a number of months ago. Transparency is good, but just for transparency's sake, you don't That doesn't do you any good if there's no insurance companies.
She says that she doesn't remember and that transparency isn't good all the time. It certainly isn't good for her in this specific situation.
Yeah, it's not good for
or
her,
for the companies
obviously.
deciding the fate of people's livelihoods. But all of
She
this
just
is the face of
basically
the
gave a
corruption at the
non-answer.
heart of Los Angeles. Greedy decisions made by lawmakers to prioritize their funders over the people they're meant to represent. It's a multi-million-dollar conspiracy.
Well, I mean, she gave an
all in
answer,
plain
but
view.
she didn't
The
give an
state
answer
senator
that
alone received
people
over $1
wanted.
million
She
from the
basically
insurance
said,
industry,
no,
and she's
fuck
one of 7
transparency.
state senators overseeing these laws. A very small group of people considering their massive amount of power over so many people's lives. The chairman
these
of the
people are
committee is Susan
shady
Rubio,
as
a Democrat
fuck.
from Baldwin Park. She's recently been reappointed as the chairman, despite being embroiled in a corruption probe based on a different bribery scandal. So if you're an insurance company looking to
Dumbass.
make sure you can continue your schemes, you only need a few of these people in your pocket for almost full
Yeah,
control
exactly.
of the system. But if that isn't
Yeah,
enough,
these
you can
guys are
always go
corrupt to the
further up
core.
chain. A great
Yeah,
example
everyone-
of this is a bill called AB.
I hate to say it, but all the politicians in fucking California are corrupt. They're shady as fuck. I don't. They're all commies. They're all fucking authoritarian, doing weird shit. Right? They're They're like embezzling funds. They're not doing the job properly. They're not hiring people properly to do jobs, or they didn't even hire people. They just sat on their fucking ass doing nothing. For what? For 4 years or more.
970, and that would have extended insurance.
All
to
these
places
people
at
have
the
been
most
in here
risk
for
of
so
fire damage.
long, and they
Normally,
just
bills
keep
that could
fucking
potentially
shit
hurt
up.
the insurance companies never make it past the committee. Of 32 different insurance bills proposed during the recent legislative year, the only ones that passed had support from the insurance industry.
Fuck
but this one was
California.
different.
Bunch
It made
of
it through the
pieces of
assembly, and
shit.
it even got past the Senate, each time getting tons of votes in its favor. But then it would land on Governor Gavin Newsom's desk for the final stamp. But
Yeah,
instead of
everyone
approving
loves
it,
eating
he
Gavin
vetoed the
Newsom's
bill
shit
instead.
for some
He's the
reason.
last line of an impenetrable defense for the insurance industry. 2 years
Yeah, he's
before
probably
he vetoed
backed
another
by the-
similar
the
bill called
Chinese,
AB
too.
2450, which would have
Fucking
forced the government to
sucking
lower
G's
fire
dick.
insurance costs for homeowners in high-risk areas. But instead, the bills went
Fucking
sharply
Winnie the
up, as
Pooh
we've already
motherfucker.
seen, and ended up forcing even more people to go without. So you put up the rates as high as you can, you kicked as many people off their policies
100
as you
Acre
can,
Wood,
all by
piece of
greasing up a
shit.
few pockets and manipulating the most powerful people in the city. But what do you do with all of the people who get kicked off their policies and can't afford or aren't offered a new one? Well, you need something that looks like you're not really dooming people's homes to be destroyed without any way for them to rebuild their lives. Something that gives the illusion of another option, a safety net. But of course, you don't actually want to be responsible for insuring their homes. This grand conspiracy needs a fall guy, something to point to when you say that
A
you're
fall
still
guy,
taking
a
care of
scapegoat.
people. Well, that's why step 3 is all about using those political connections to poke holes
Yeah,
in the safety
Pogo.
net.
Yeah. So basically, blame everything on Trump. Ask Trump for the money, even though.
Make sure that you're never actually on the hook. In California, this is called the FAIR Plan. Designed as a last-ditch resort for people denied of all other home and fire insurance, the scheme was meant to offer a bare essentials package. The deal was that insurance companies operating in Los Angeles could drop their customers, but they had to be responsible
policy
for the FAIR
genius.
Plan coverage
Broadway
that people got
insurance.
as a replacement. While this might not offer full protection for the people forced onto it, it is
Yeah,
meant to
but
at
you
least prevent them from losing
got
everything.
some money back,
It worked
right?
this way since the 1960s when the measure was introduced, and for decades it served an essential purpose. But recently, with insurance companies dropping more and more people, the FAIR Plan got massively overstretched. And before the January fires happened, the FAIR Plan had around $300 million in the bank and an extra $2.5 billion in reinsurance. It sounds like a lot until you consider how crazy the LA property market has gotten and how much damage the fire caused. Some estimates are putting the total insured cost of the fire at a staggering $30 billion. Others put this as high as $40 billion. Of those losses, over $5 billion are covered by the FAIR Plan in the Palisades and Eaton areas alone. This means that the FAIR Plan is likely to come up short, and this is a massive problem if you're running one of those insurance companies, or at least it would have been if you didn't do step 3. Last July, around 6 months before the fires, the insurance industry used their political meddling to pass the cost back onto their customers. They spend the rest of their year pushing through a law that lets them charge their customers thousands of dollars each to make up for the gap in the FAIR Plan. The exchange that was meant to happen was that they would begin taking on more customers again, but the timing couldn't have been better for them. The ink was barely dry on the new deal when the fires began, and now it's estimated that California's homeowners could see added charges on their insurance bills ranging from $1,000 to nearly $4,000 each, depending on how much money the FAIR Plan ends up needing. This is on top of a very recent $1 billion bailout given to the Fair Plan to keep it afloat, at least for now. And guess where the money for that is coming from? There's a legitimate threat here that the whole system could collapse under the weight of the damages. Everyone seems terrified that the insurance companies could go belly up, ignoring the fact that they've been using these fires to raise their premiums for years now. Both the insurance industry and California's government have blamed climate change for the fire.
That's why I think someone's been paying some of these fucking homeless people to set some of this shit on fire. I mean, that's like conspiracy theory take. I mean, what's stopping these fuckheads from paying fucking idiots to burn shit down? Or just allowing these gang members to come in and fuck shit up, right?
Fires. And it's definitely true that might have made them harder to deal with, but it still doesn't excuse the lack of preparation. And as we peel away the last layer of this rotten onion, the levels of incompetence will make it seem like they wanted the fires to get this bad. Shortly after the fires began, it was all over social media that the hydrants were running dry. While the mainstream news tried to suppress the
allowing
story
these
first,
activist
the scale of the
groups
damages
to
and the lack
just
of resources
constantly
for first
fuck you
responders was
over,
impossible
right?
to hide forever. In the Palisades area where some of the worst damage happened, firefighters were unable to beat back the blaze. Part of the reason for this was unavoidable. Particularly strong winds made it impossible
cause
to
enough
fight the fire
civil
from the air.
unrest.
But when the water ran out on the ground,
You're gonna fucking piss people off.
This should never have happened. The city
Yeah.
built a massive 117 million gallon reservoir near the Palisades area to help deal with the wildfires. But when the fire inevitably came, the Santa Ynez Reservoir was bone dry. Instead, the firefighters were left to rely on 3 million gallon tanks to draw water from. But they barely lasted 24 hours before the pressure wasn't high enough to be usable.
they
The
lost
reason that
pressure.
the reservoir is empty is as ridiculous as it is tragic, as it fully puts into perspective the rot at the heart of LA. The reservoir
Exactly.
itself is perfectly functional, but it was discovered over a year before the floating cover on top of the reservoir was slightly torn. What should have been a quick repair, estimated to cost under $100,000, stretched into months and then over a year. The city had to have a lengthy auction over who got to repair the cover. During that period, it was decided that the reservoir should be completely drained. And what's worse is that the cover that started the whole problem wasn't even really necessary. It was only deemed essential because of a 2008 change in environmental laws. Before that, the reservoir worked perfectly fine without it.
This is all because of fucking climate change, by the way. So fuck all you fucking assholes. You fucking burned your own goddamn state down, you fucking idiots.
This $100,000 issue is likely to have cost the area billions in damages and thousands more of its homes. And it's not the only case that this
You
hilarious
have only
political
yourselves to
incompetence
blame,
costing
you
the
fucking
city dearly.
activist pieces
The
of
fires
shit.
would have been a lot less destructive if flammable brush had been properly cleared from LA's forests. LA actually charges residents if they try to clear the brush on state land. They also put harsh penalties on people who don't clear it on their own land as well. But at the same time, the responsibility to deal with the state-owned land is shared by lots of different departments, all working on their own schedules. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. Clearing this flammable debris properly would have slowed the fire down considerably and saved thousands of homes. But it just didn't get done. A 2020 report into this issue, which has come up time and
This is
time
why
again,
this is all
has been mostly
self-inflicted.
ignored by state officials. Which then leads us on to the final question. Why would the city's officials and the state of California let this happen? Well, the answer is that it doesn't affect them. The insurance industry and other lobbyists that pay the officials
It doesn't
don't care.
affect them.
They've got it all
They didn't
worked out
care.
as we've seen, so that they're never really on the
If
hook
it
for
doesn't hurt their
disasters when they
pocket,
actually
they're not gonna
happen.
care.
The politicians don't care either. California is so firmly Democrat that most of the state senators and elected officials never have to worry about their re-election campaigns.
Exactly.
Their only allegiances are to their fellow party members.
Right, it's because the people in California are fucking brain dead, and they're stuck in the Plato cave and they can't get out. Because you got fucking dumbass artists, you got dumbass people in the fucking Silicon Valley, and you just got people who are just deciding not to vote too, and just allowing this shit to happen.
And their lobbyist financial backers. As long as they keep them happy, they're pretty much untouchable. In
Yeah,
fact,
exactly.
there's lots of
Not only that, but you have a lot of Hollywood people who are just fucking cunts. Just absolute fucking cunts.
people that will benefit from the fires. Before the
I mean,
fires had even ended, people who
there's
lost
some
their
good
homes started
people,
getting
but
cold
oh
calls
my
and
god,
offers to buy the
it's
land for
filled with
pennies on the dollar.
assholes.
There are tons of corrupt property developers salivating over the cheap land on offer now. One plot of land has already been sold off for a fraction of what a house built in it would have cost. Where their homes once stood, they can build luxury condos or mansions for the ultra-rich and make an absolute fortune. This whole tragedy and the conspiracy behind it is a microcosm of what's happening to LA as a whole. Just take one of their many other problems like homelessness,
Skid
and
Row.
follow the trail of money,
Homeless.
and you'll see the same sorts of things. You've got people profiting off of the collapse and corrupt officials letting it all happen for a cut of the blood money. They could close down the 10 cities tomorrow.
Allowing these guys to right. Some of these guys are druggies, and they get free drugs for their addiction, so that they don't fucking overlaps. Right.
Seem to
and
do this when
fucking go on a
GCP came
killing
to California.
spree.
And meanwhile, California's governor is pushing back on claims San Francisco cleared out homeless camps specifically for this week's summit. Several world leaders, of course, are joining Presidents Biden and Xi in San Francisco for that summit.
Yep, they
Over
did.
the weekend, city officials reportedly
Cleaned it up, but
city
after a week of not
public drug
of
markets,
everything,
some
yeah,
now
they fucking
questioning
came back and fucked
why
shit up.
now instead of months ago.
But instead, they let all of this fester. People
Yep.
then move out, and the property prices
Downtown
go down.
LA is
Eventually,
kinda
they move them on,
infected
but
by
only
a
after
lot
they
of
bought
homeless
up all
shit.
the property. This kind of mismanagement is killing both LA and California as a whole. Problems that could have been dealt with long ago just never seem to get fixed. For example, everyone knows that driving in LA is just as painful as it is necessary.
Super painful.
You can't get anywhere without a car because there isn't enough public transport, which
Yep.
also means there's just tons of traffic nearly all of the time. However, the east coast of the US has enjoyed intercity railways for years. You can get from New York to Washington to Boston to Philadelphia
easily,
all by
right?
train. But this just isn't the same in the West. The coverage is
Yeah,
really
in the
poor,
West,
unconnected,
there's
and
no
slow.
coverage for
It's
that.
why when a high-speed intercity railway stretches
Also, the railroads started back over there, anyways. Right, the railroad system in California isn't the same as the railroad system because that's been overhauled and iterated on ever since the whole railroad system back in the 1800s or when they laid the rail system.
across the length of California was proposed in 2008, most people finally
They've been
breathed a sigh of
updating
relief.
all that shit
Estimated to be
ever
finished
since.
by 2020.
But
The
whereas
$33 billion
California,
rail line was meant to connect
that
LA
happened
directly
later.
with San Francisco. It would have cut a 9-hour journey on the old train lines to under 3 hours. The potential benefits were endless, and if it had been completed, it could have transformed the city and the state as a whole. At this point, you can guess that it was never finished. And as you would guess, the plan had gone horribly over budget and faced numerous delays, setbacks, and hidden costs. Instead of the $33 billion that was originally proposed, recent estimates now put the total cost of the train line, if it's ever finished, at over $133 billion. While it was meant to finish years ago, even the very first phase of the plan hasn't been built yet. The only part they are building is a small stretch right in the middle between Bakersfield and Merced, and this part isn't going to be finished until 2030 at the earliest and will nearly cost as much as the entire project was meant to cost, around $20 billion. You can probably guess why the costs have been so high while the results have been so poor. Billions of dollars have been wasted through meaningless litigation and bureaucracy. Tons of lawsuits have flooded in against the railway. Meanwhile, the highways it's meant to replace remain full of cars. These are the kinds of things that are killing LA, and now it's spreading to the rest of California.
Not only that, but they're even fucking up more of the roads to make them more bottlenecky, which is great. Good job, California. You fucking suck.
Really be a warning to the rest of the US. Useless bureaucracy, corruption, and incompetence have infected every level of government.
I
People
can't
have used
even
it to enrich themselves
I can't
at
even disagree
society's
with
expense.
this.
This is what's
it's so
truly
bad
behind
in
LA's
California.
problems,
I
and it's
fucking
a
hate
mindset
it.
that's already spreading across California,
Right,
and
especially
the US
with
as a whole.
Newsom and
Gavin
Karen
Newsom, one of
Bass
the
and
overseers of
fucking
this shift,
Deanna
could easily be the
Feinstein and all
Democratic
those
nominee
fuckheads.
someday. He's become a
Ted
key figure
Lieu.
of the establishment
Fuck these
Democrats that
people.
still controls the party, despite all of their failures in and out of office. If this happens, it'll represent acceptance of his own destructive, greedy
Like I
brand
said,
of
if you were to
politics.
blow
Right
up
now, people are trying to
California, you
undermine the
wouldn't
Trump
lose
presidency,
much.
and perhaps rightly so, as they fear a slide into
If anything,
authoritarianism
California
and
is a
oligarchy,
fucking
which is
hindrance
a
with
very
all this
valid point,
dumb shit that's
especially
going
with all the
on.
recent stuff going on. But if the established Democrats can't understand and confront their own incompetence
Yeah,
and corruption,
if they can't
they'll never
fucking
regain the
pony
trust
up
of the
and
people.
fucking
California
accept
and LA
what they
particularly
did,
show why the
it's
party
gonna
has been
keep
an
falling.
unmitigated disaster for them, and why people
Yeah.
are fleeing LA and California in the droves.
Exactly.
And thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video. Remember to
Fuck
check
you,
them out.
Fume. Eat my balls. Anyways. Yeah, there we go.
With the link in the description below.
Thank you, Moon, for the video. But yeah, California's cooked. California really went and voted for Patrick Bateman. Residents have voted enthusiastically for their own demise, yep. And it's here. Nice work, folks, pretty much. I mean, I tried to vote in I tried to vote against fucking Newsom, but he just keeps winning. I don't know why. People keep just voting for this asshole. Or just not voting at all. And just allow it to happen. 2 words, Vanguard, BlackRock. The fire was meant to happen for single home area to be converted to apartment-based homes and 15 min cities. It was accident for sure. Jesus. As someone with from Southern California, this is nothing new. Gavin Newsom and the Democrat ruling is very corrupt. California needs change. Hey. Shadow of Arts. I can't believe that people are still actively moving to LA. What a crap hole. I know, right? They're gonna get a rude awakening when they find out it's not what they thought it was. I think there's even some famous people who got stolen from in LA, and they were just like, what? I didn't know this was LA or California. I was just like, yep. Welcome to California, dumbasses. Fucking out-of-state retards or over-the-seas retards who don't understand how fucking bad it is in the United States sometimes. All of our shit is overrun by fucking gang members, terrorists, dumbass fucking politicians, dumbass Karens who want to fuck shit up. You know, the usual. California only fit 25 million people. They are close to 40 now. Supply and demand raise prices beyond their ability to ensure. Yeah, that too. But also expensive to be able to save up to move out. Yep. This really is one of the biggest scams in human history. The same thing happened in Hawaii. It did. The Maui fires in, what was it, 2023? Yeah, they fucked Maui up too. Who was helping that shit too? I think Oprah was trying to help. Not Oprah. Whoopi. Was it Oprah or Whoopi? I think it was Oprah. And it was Oprah and Dwayne Johnson or some shit. The Rock Johnson. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Fucking big-headed fools. Yeah, the bestest country in the world, they say. That's true. I mean, it's only because of our fucking military power we can say fuck you to everyone, right? We can just say, hey, you want to get nuked, faggot? Or at least I can say, hey, you want your legs broken, piece of shit? I don't mind stabbing some fucks. Yeah, I'm ready to fucking clap some motherfuckers and keep ruining shit for everyone. I mean, at this point, I will give no remorse. I will fucking break people's spine. I will paralyze people. I will get the, the lobotomy tools. I don't give a fuck. I will fuck people up. If you allow me to do this shit, I will fucking do it. Oh my god. Get the fucking, the fucking, was the ice pick? Fucking ice pick and a hammer. Fucking start fucking people up. Anyways, I think that is it. Do we have anything in safe shit? Oh, really? Okay. Oh my god, there's a Chinatown, dude.
Now attend chilling images of a suspected arsonists are caught on camera in the moments before two buildings.
You know what I was saying about last time?
Chinatown burst into flames.
There we
Police are
go.
looking for the person seen in that security video. They are also following up on reports of a suspect carrying a gas can in the area. KHLA's Rick Chambers in Chinatown with more on the investigation as it stands tonight. Rick.
Yeah, Micah, we had 2 buildings, as you mentioned, hit in very quick succession, and cameras captured what may be the fire starter. But the images are very grainy, and we're not sure just how much help it's going to be. Take a look. It was just after 2 a.m. when the rear of Broadway Cuisine suddenly erupted in flames.
Broadway
Of course, I
Cuisine.
feel very unhappy, you know.
Stanler Wong owns this Chinatown restaurant. The fire shut down all of the power and gas. The kitchen now is dark, food is spoiling, and her 15 employees are idle.
When we don't open, you know, all the workers, they don't have work, you know. I worry about a lot of things, yeah.
Well, mainly you
Just 7 minutes
survived.
later, and 1 block away, this fire consumed the front of a vacant business that is said to be a haven for the homeless. Yang Chow.
Interesting. So they're hitting up Chinese restaurants and homeless places. Interesting.
Is right next door.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Or at least
this side,
Asian
fire department
right,
is
Asian
coming very
owners.
quick.
At this second fire, though, this
We're back to the racist, right? It's race wars. We're back to race wars. Here we go.
surveillance footage catches the arsonist in the act. The male-looking figure approaches the building's
Yeah.
facade with a container of sorts.
Yeah,
Moments
probably
later,
to
walks
set
away,
shit, you know.
only to return and ignite what may be a flammable liquid with a lighter.
I
Yeah.
feel pretty unsafe.
Nikki Lu runs nearby Ju Wei, and she
Oh,
saw
that's
the
one of
charred
those
candles
ice
when she
cream.
arrived for work.
Definitely, I don't want something like that happen to my place. And it's
Yeah,
just pretty
that'd be real
random.
bad. Especially this place. This is a real small place. Right.
I thought this place seemed to be safe.
Investigators
You thought this place was safe? Excuse me? Do you know where you live? You live in California. Southern California at that.
have been out here working both of these scenes throughout the day.
Fortunately, there was no injuries related to either fire. And our arson section is aware of the fires, and they're both currently under active
Gotta love
investigation.
arsonists, right?
Which is at least a little bit of comfort for all of the business owners here along North Broadway. And back here in Chinatown, hopefully it'll be nice and quiet along this stretch of Broadway, and maybe an arrest before this person strikes again. In Chinatown, I'm Rick Chambers, guys. I'll throw it back
Is
to you.
everyone among
Rick, thank you. And
the homeless? I work in Hollywood. Twice last year, a homeless person tried setting the building on fire. Once in our trash compactor, and another time, a mattress with trash was on fire next to the building. According to the fire investigator, of them was set by wanted arsonists. He was arrested. Yeah. Or land grab for the Olympic Village. Could be. I mean, right? You just got weird fucking people who are just causing shit. I don't know if they're being paid by Newsom or what. They're paid by politicians to fuck with, right? Who knows? Who knows? What is this? Ethan Klein crashes out in a shark subreddit? Oh. Avowed versus Oblivion. These games are 19 years apart. Oh, yeah, on this. Yeah, I noticed in Avowed, right, there's just certain objects you can't break, right? The physics of certain thing, right? There's no physics on certain objects, right? They're not inanimate objects. They're just placeholders. They're imaginary, right? Magic. Same with the arrows. You can't pick up arrows like you could in fucking Fallout. So yeah. They did degrade realistic they decided not to go for the realistic approach. In that sense. Right, the physics.